Hey Zombie Slayers, Mad Lobster 17 back bringing you another episode of the ZombSquad Podcast, joined again by my wonderful co-host Spike the Wolf. How you doing, Spike?
Off the stage.
That's a great introduction. I'm so glad you feel off the stage. It's fantastic. And we are joined by 3 guests today. 2 of them are currently AFK, so hopefully they will come during the podcast, but we shall see. But we are joined by Lux Archangel. How you doing, Lux?
I'm doing well, thanks. I just as an actual question, should I just turn off my face cam or no?
It is up to you. It's not, your webcam isn't being recorded, so
Okay. So
it's up to you. There we go. There he goes. Yeah, we've had a few minor technical difficulties when starting this podcast, but that does not matter. It does not matter.
It's your boy.
Because we have got.
Dude, you guys have no idea. I really want to do a live stream where I'm wearing like the Batman mask and then doing like the voice of like College Humor Batman.
God, I can just imagine.
All the same amount of weird mistakes. Just. It's your boy, Bruce, man. I mean, Batman. I mean, shit. Just do that for.
I could just picture a live stream on Twitch where you see a guy in a background mask.
Clarification: Asteroid is here, but he cannot talk for the time being.
And Mark is stuffing his face. So.
Yes.
He's being a fucking bitch.
Yeah, but
that's all I got.
That doesn't matter. We got 3 out of 5. I'm going to take that as a good sign.
That's a W. That's more than half.
Okay, so, but we've got a very, very juicy episode of the podcast coming up because we've got so much to talk about. In particular, starting it off, we've got the BO4 multiplayer beta, which we now have all played since Xbox and PC got it this weekend.
I'm currently playing it.
Your mic might be broken. No, his mic is fine.
Oh dear. We've still got problems.
Honey the fuck.
No, your mic sounds fine to me. Delta, I think it's because your internet is that bad, my friend, honestly.
He's muted. He is muted on my screen.
Yeah, but Lobster sounds great. So does Spike. I have no idea about me because I can't hear myself. Which I'm okay with. I can actually hear my own voice, but I can't hear myself in like echo.
It doesn't matter. But anyway, the beta. We've all played it now. So, Lux and Spike, after you guys, I'm guessing, have played the beta. So, what are your initial impressions on it? How did you feel after playing quite a few games of the beta already? So, what are your thoughts on it?
It's gonna be a good year, lads.
I tend to agree. I mean, I think so far, I haven't started playing it this weekend, but I am a PlayStation 4 player, so I played it last weekend. So I haven't played Heist yet, so I don't ask me about that. But everything else, I've enjoyed it so far. I genuinely don't think that the increase in health or anything like that really makes that much of a difference. Like the time to kill doesn't feel that much longer than anything else that we've had previous.
It feels slightly longer, though, I will say.
Really?
Yeah, maybe just a little bit, but not like enough that I'm like, sitting there like, oh my god,
Fuck, dude, you should be dead.
Yeah, and like to all the people out there like that watch bigger YouTubers that like went to the reveal event and watched gameplay from there. Stimshot is nowhere near as overpowered as it was then. Armor packs don't really make much of a difference to me that I've noticed. So
we lost Mark.
Ripperoni. But that's interesting that you say that because the stim shot to me sounds like it's a good way of getting a second chance. In particular, the way that I've used it when I've been really weak, I literally shove that thing in my arm, and then before you know it, I'm fighting back. And so, how it comes off to me is that you're getting a proper second chance to A, get revenge, and B, actually get the guy who's just weakened you.
Yeah, see, with Stimshot, I feel as though it's still one of those definite like things that you're instantly going to be choosing no matter what your loadout is.
Yeah,
I definitely noticed far too much of a difference in not using it So on all of my class setups, I have it on. But to me, like it's definitely nowhere near as broken as it was at the reveal event by the look of it. But it's definitely still like crutch sort of implementation. So I feel like even while it's in beta still, it's probably going to get changed up a little bit. But I definitely agree that it's very useful for giving that feel because yeah, the heal for stim shot is just too good to not be used.
That it is. Like it's a very very good mechanic, and I'm really glad that they brought it into. 1 second, I'm just making a little adjustment here. But I'm really glad they brought it into the into Black Ops 4 because it's a good way to change up the multiplayer.
Agreed.
Definitely.
Agreed. I really like the concept and idea of self healing, much more than just regenerative health.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I like that so far. I feel as though all the weapons kind of have an actual different feel. Unfortunately, they all kind of sound the same from what I've played and
Yes.
noticed, but I do like that they all kind of interact and play differently, and I don't feel like any one gun is particularly overpowered. I mean, the one S.
Well, I will say, yeah, the MX9. I will say that is like really used in the kill feed a lot. But other than that, everybody's using all kinds of weapons.
Yeah, exactly. And I've definitely noticed there's a lot of diversity so far with the beta maps, which are all, as far as I know, they're all brand new maps, and none of them are like the remasters, right?
Right.
I don't
Right.
know. I
Yeah.
haven't played the new map either yet, so. But as
Seeing
far as
that, I will
know,
say it gives you like a raid feel, but it's still new.
yeah. So for that, like in general, like all the maps feel very different. There's maps already that I'm like, I love this map, and there's a couple maps where I'm like, I don't know how I feel about it. Like not in like the I hate this map kind of thing, but it's more like this map is very confusing for the time being. But again, we're only on, technically day 4 of the beta.
Sure.
Yeah. And like some of the maps. They do have what I've noticed about a couple of maps is that they have a nice layout to them, so you don't feel like basically. I mean, yeah, I tend to find myself getting shot in the back quite a lot, but that's because, well, for one thing, the spawns to get flipped a bit easier than what I've noticed in other Call of Duties.
That's my biggest complaint about this entire beta. I haven't ran into any like real glitches or anything like that, but the spawn flipping and just the weird spawn rates and how
Yes.
they work. They're
Yeah, the
just
spawns are a bit odd.
Yeah, they are a bit. Oh,
So
sorry.
far though, that's pretty much my only thing. I mean, there's a couple other things too, like some of the differing specialist abilities and stuff. They don't concern me, but they're like, okay, I wonder how this is gonna end up being in final product. Like with Prophet's robot that goes out and shocks people. First off, when I saw that, I was like, wow, that's Rainbow Six Siege all over again, but you don't control it. And then second off, whenever I've been hit by it, I'm just like, oh geez, that's really, really strong.
Yeah, I was actually wondering because I was waiting to get this guy, and then all of a sudden this thing just shocked me out of nowhere. I was wondering what the fuck is that thing? Like, is Electro in or what? No, it's just this little tiny vehicle just shocking his living tits off at me. I'm just like,
one thing
you're
I will
a
say
bitch.
though about each of the specialists so far, like the ones that we've seen in Black Ops 3, I think that from what I've seen anyway, I like what they've done with each of the characters.
Yes.
I really genuinely look at what they've done with character design because BO4 is supposed to be the precursor to BO3, but after BO2, I so far from what I'm seeing can pretty well believe that. I mean, and hopefully when the full game releases and we get like the multiplayer that gives us story behind each of the characters, maybe we'll get to know why Ruin is like 99% machine in Black Ops 3. Maybe he gets blown to pieces like the campaign character does in Black Ops 3.
Yeah, I'm
thinking that'll be good.
like I'm excited for those little missions to go with the specialist because it's nice to get a bit of backstory as to why and how these people became to what we know them as, not just in Black Ops 3 but then Black Ops 4 as well. It acts as a really good backstory.
Exactly, and that's what I think is going to be probably one of the most things like I look forward to when it comes to the MP, and in general from Black Ops 4, because I was definitely one of those people when they said, "Oh, there isn't going to be a campaign." I was like, "What?" Because my favorite campaign of all time is Black Ops 1, and then followed very closely by World at War. So I love Treyarch campaigns.
Yes.
And then they said no campaign, but then they were like, well, we're gonna work campaign sort of elements into everything else. And I was like, well, you already got it with zombies, and doing it with MP, you guys started to do it a little bit in Black Ops 3, but how do you do it in like Blackout? I wonder.
Well, I find it interesting that a lot of people were complaining that Black Ops 4 didn't have a campaign, but then I was there doing the argument of, well, where could they take the story after Black Ops 3, and in particular just how poorly written the Black Ops 3 campaign was. They added it into Black Ops 4. That campaign isn't gonna do nothing.
Real quick, Mark's mic might be able to work now.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Mark,
are you there? He is here. We are joined by a fourth.
The lad.
That was
The lad.
an ordeal, but we're here. It's
Ooh,
crazy.
He's here.
I mean,
I love this lad. He sounds like Liam. I love it.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay,
Continue with your thought on multiplayer.
Yes,
so,
Mark.
What are your thoughts, man?
Well, first of all, the big positive, no exosuits. I think we're all pretty happy about that.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely, definitely.
just generally, boots on the ground. That's great. But a couple
I want to say that.
My mate's Astro just said, "I'm not." What a lad! What a lad!
But like,
What a
I
lad!
want to say this about the multiplayer with Nomad. We got the Call of Duty Ghost fucking dog, man.
Call of Duty Ghost.
A damn dog.
Okay, so carry on with your thoughts.
Yeah, more technical stuff. It's changed the game. You know, it used to always be 100 health, now 150. That's clear for everyone. Seems to be a pretty high time to kill ratio, or TTK. You know, that's a better change. I like a slower pace game. I've got a problem with that. What do you guys think?
I mean,
I really like the slower pace.
Yeah,
it really changes the meta.
Yeah, I feel like with a higher TTK, it makes every game a lot slower and more methodical, and you're not gonna have as many games. Like, look at how in Black Ops 3, like they went and raised the kill amount that you needed in TDM to 100, and it was probably mostly because of the fact that every game was going by like that, and it's just like it's over before you even notice, right? Versus now they made it that way your health takes longer to deplete, and you can sit there re-healing like really fast. Because this is what I said to my dad, because I got my dad to test it out because he's a COD fan too. I said, you know how you excessively reload? You know, you shot one bullet and then you reload your clip just because you never know. That's what you need to be doing with heals now. Is that you took any damage, heal right away. If you live through the confrontation in any way, shape, or form, heal that bitch.
Yeah, I
was
think
talking to a friend about this, about the TDM stuff. Me and him were playing TDM, and we noticed that so of course TDM matches go really really fast, and even with 100 kills to win, it still goes pretty fast. Anyways, I would say on an average it'll go to the 3 to 4 minutes tops. And yesterday we noticed that the game was lasting about 7 minutes.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing. Like TDM has always been okay, you got 10 minutes to get 75 kills, but it never ever takes 10 minutes for people to have that happen unless everyone's camping on the complete opposite sides of the map. And that's so rare, especially in TDM. So that's probably why
a 0.2% chance of even happening.
Yeah, and that's probably why they've added this now with a higher TTK, is so that way then every single game and even every conflict that you have needs to be a little bit more thought out and more methodical. which I personally like because I'm that way with like every game I play. I love MOBAs like that. I play Magic the Gathering. I love that kind of stylization of that game too. You know, I'm just an all around nerd.
Like with this game, you really can't be aggressive too much. And
Yeah.
we always have that mindset. Oh, you need to be aggressive to get the most amount of kills. Blah blah blah. And even with like games that are not like COD, I would say, for example, like PUBG, that's like of course battle royale. And I'm even aggressive in that, like myself. I will admit I am pretty aggressive, but I'm always thinking about situations and whatnot. But with this game, you really, really got to think about it super hard. Like how in R6, you really got to like think like, all right, where's the enemy going to come from? What are they going to be using? If they have their like their specialists and whatnot, and what kind of weapons they're going to be using. So, and even that ties it way more into the game mode, the heist mode. That ties it way more because you don't know if the one of the enemies got like heavy armor, which you can pay for $2,000. And it's so far what I've seen, that's like the meta. You need to get the rampart and the heavy armor in that mode. So that's kind of the meta for that. I'm hoping that they're definitely going to nerf the heavy armor.
I mean, I feel so. Like I said, I haven't actually played Heist yet. I was in the middle of like starting one when we started recording, but that's fine. But I feel as though the only gripe so far that I've had with the multiplayer beta thus far, apart from the spawns, is my first few games I played as Ruin just because that familiarity of playing Ruin, and of course wanting to be fucking Batman and having a fucking bat claw. Let's be real. Yeah. But I played on the I don't know which map it was. It was the one that's kind of like rainy and stormy, and it's got like it's kind of like it looks and feels like Summit, but it's not. Yeah, frequency.
Frequency, yeah.
And when I went on the far lane, not the one where you have like the places to jump to, but the one that like I think it's point.
Oh, like where like this, like the middle part of it has like this big column.
Yeah. So when I was going on that side, just before you reach that middle section of that map, you know how you got the big hole there, and then you have the really big tall wall.
Yeah.
When I first was playing that map, after I got a little bit familiar with it, I kept being like, I feel like I should be able to use my bat claw to like go over top of this wall and end up in the next lane of like combat. And I tested it out for like a good like 5 or so minutes, and I kept dying because it wasn't how they intended it to work, and it didn't work that way. But I felt like there's a few examples of that in the map so far where I was like, I feel like I should be able to go over and do this with the bat claw.
I feel like they should definitely remove some barriers just so you can really like be really creative with the grappling hook.
Yeah,
for sure.
Exactly. Like, you know, it adds that element almost that they were going for when they introduced the exosuits, but they failed to do because then they went overboard in AW where everyone and their dog was coming from any and every direction. But then they kind of sort of became good at with BO3 and IW, but even then that was just too much bunny hopping. Whereas this is on a cooldown that is longer than your exosuit is, and this is like a one chance, one off thing, you know? Like it's one of those things where you could be having a team fight in like middle lane, and all of a sudden like the Ruin just killed one person, and all of a sudden he grapple hooks over top of a wall, comes down and gravity spikes, and he changes up the whole thing. That is play of the game that you're just like, I can't even say anything bad about that.
Yeah, know? You honestly can. You really can.
Yeah, you're like, did I see it coming? Hell no. Was it good?
Hell
I have to say yes. That was amazing.
Going back to the exosuits a moment, Asteroid did put in the chat, and I want to make this comment because this is actually a really good comment. He talked about the AW exosuits and said they were good for the game, but in fact the BO3 exosuit weren't. And I can actually completely, I can agree with this in the sense that AW, the way it was set, the exosuits worked better. Even though they were very, very quick, they worked well. BO3's was decent enough, and actually, to me, I kind of, certain way, I preferred BO3's exosuits to AW's, but I think we can all agree that IW's exosuits were the most clunkiest, worst put together exosuits ever.
Honestly,
And here's my
IW
thing
in
about-
general was just really bad put together. It just really was.
It felt rushed.
Yeah, here's my thing about AW.
Very.
AW's wasn't that the exosuits were bad, it was that the map design was bad. They cashed in
I
too
think there's a
far.
lot more wrong with the maps for that game. People didn't want
Yeah,
exos
cashed
in the game.
They cashed
They're not
in
gonna want to.
far going for the whole you get lots of verticality, plus the fact that the only thing I didn't like about the AW exosuits was the ability to basically dash left or right on a
Yeah.
whim. Because then all of a sudden you're just like, it was the same issue that IW would end up having, where people would be hopping from wall to wall to wall, and you're just sat there like, how am I supposed to track you with any gun?
I mean, in AW, the thing with the exosuits was that literally 90% of the time, people were in the air, and it just didn't, because of that, it didn't feel like a COD.
Exactly, that's what I mean, is they cashed in too far going towards the like verticality of it. If they would have toned the
Definitely.
maps down and done like, if you would have had the AW exosuit in like a Black Ops 3 map, you would have had a pretty perfect combination, because Treyarch makes fucking great maps and they didn't overdo the verticality, but they did it in the
always
right
have.
amount of way. But the only thing that I preferred about the BO3 exosuit was definitely the wall climbing, because I always thought that was cool as fuck. So
I did like the sliding though. The sliding, like nowadays, whenever I play zombies, I prefer the sliding. When I go back to the older like Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, where you have the dolphin diving, I'm always holding down B, thinking I'm gonna slide around the map, like I'm freaking Speedy Gonzales. But in fact, it's not the case. I go for I then do a dolphin dive and thinking, oh shit, it isn't that game.
Yeah.
From what I've noticed with Black Ops 4,
zombies, you can just sit there chaining and comboing it and
Yeah.
doing the slide jump.
and hell, you can make glass around the map if you really get good enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
can't even. And that's the thing that I've noticed so far from the MP. You can't do that in the MP right now.
No, you're right. Sliding has been
As
nerfed.
what
It's
we
been
know.
slowed down. You can't repeat it as often. You
I
maybe
mean,
do two.
you can, but you lose a lot of momentum
Yeah,
after
it's-
like the second slide.
Yeah, you can
You're-
only
you're
do
pretty much
3
done.
slides in total. I just tried it now, and then you can't even do like the fourth one.
Yeah, exactly. So it gets to that point where you're just kind of like,
It's a little something.
So-
Let's not rely on it. I think we should leave it at that.
and
Yeah.
here's my perspective about the difference between the slide that we have now versus the dolphin dive. I always thought that the dolphin dive was freaking hilarious just because it is. But I'm also that person that definitely doesn't particularly care too much about trying to get PhD flopper back, because I
really don't care either.
I've always seen PhD flopper, and I know this isn't a very popular opinion, but I've always seen it as a crutch perk. Why? Because you simply can get any weapon, no matter what it is. It could be either worse. It could be the law, okay? And you could be stuck in a corner, and you just spam the freaking ground. And as long as you have Jug,
Exactly.
PhD, and Quick Revive, you don't even need another freaking perk, because the explosive splash damage on most of those weapons was so exponentially high that you were usually pretty good no matter what.
Yeah, I definitely got that.
Agreed.
I definitely got that when doing an Ascension high round on BO1. Like, even if you have the guns like the Mustang and Sally, you have PhD, you've got a very, very limited chance of actually going down, because you get stuck in a corner, you spray the ground, and then you're out of it no matter what. It's like, what the thing I liked about
It's a walk in the
PhD.
park.
The thing I
The
liked
thing that's worse about
P-
Ascension too is because Ascension was built as a map that had a decent amount of verticality as well. So even if you run out of ammo, this was the other part that was really crutch about PhD. You run out of ammo, okay, that's fine. I'm gonna train the zombies down. Everyone always does it by the Lunar Lander, where you buy PhD. They just run them down the stairs.
You just
They come
run
back
up the
up,
stairs
and
and
they
boom, dolphin dive.
down, and then they wipe out a bunch of zombies until they get a max ammo. And you can literally sit there doing that until your little heart desires, or until you die. and you don't take fall damage from it, and you're dealing explosive damage. So like that's why I'm just like so indifferent about getting PhD back.
Right.
Honestly,
okay. Well,
I honestly
I
don't
actually
even
do like
want it
PhD.
back. Personally, I just don't want it back.
Exactly.
I'm not
Glad
massively, I'm not massively fussed about PhD coming back. I do prefer the sliding to the dolphin diving, but
PhD
it's
2.0.
I just hope that we get new perks or some sort of perks that are new to us.
PhD 2.0. It's going to be a thing. No fall damage.
Mark has been saying this ever since we got double tap 2.0.
Double tap 2.0. It's happened. It'll happen again.
32.
Pro 2. Coming.
That's also another thing that Mark wants.
It's not coming soon. Anyway, another thing I want to just mention, lads. The map variation. So with World War II, it was 9 maps on release. So far in the beta, we've got 5. We've got Hacienda coming, I believe, later in the beta. I could be wrong.
It's already
No,
out
it's already
apparently
in
now.
game.
It's already out now. Oh, lovely.
And
they
we're
had
gonna get the 4 back in
4
black maps.
remasters.
As well as
4
Nuketown
remasters
as
are
well.
confirmed.
I'll
So
do
we
the
already
maps,
know
lads.
for
There's
fact.
more.
Of course. When do we not get Nuketown?
Yep,
So,
fair
of
enough.
course we're gonna get Nuketown.
Exactly.
That's
So
11
we've
maps.
already confirmed that we're gonna be getting more maps on launch now.
Yeah,
And
so I'm gonna
Fantastic.
say just from
World War II maps are pretty much
what
identical.
we know with Black Ops, I'm gonna assume we're gonna get 18 maps on launch, just somewhere around there.
18.
That's
Yeah,
a
like,
lot of
18?
maps.
I would say
Oh,
It
max
is a lot of maps,
like,
but that's good for content as well. It
I
keeps
Yeah, that's
people
right.
more engaged.
I'd
well,
say
you
at
gotta
max
think, though,
maybe
to be
13.
fair, it's hard to say because of the fact that Blackout, in my opinion, I don't have any intel, so if this ends up being true, I'm a genius.
You
But
call
Literally.
I think that Blackout, honestly, is probably when like the Blackout map that we're gonna play is just an amalgamation of like a lot of freaking maps just remastered. So I could see maybe if it was just nothing but that, and then they just had all the assets and they just were like, well, we might as well just put it as a map for normal MP as opposed to just Blackout.
Well, actually, that's
maybe
actually been kind of confirmed because people have been like comparing like map layouts to like what we've seen like in the picture that they showed us during the community reveal event. So far,
Yeah.
we know that we're getting Raid, Turbine, Bus Depot, and I believe Nuketown.
Yes.
So I can see maybe getting that many maps, but if
whoa. Verrucht.
Veron,
Of
yes.
course, yes.
Yeah, I remember that. That was from the trailer.
Yeah, so and I think honestly though if they don't decide to use all the assets and stuff from the amalgamation that will be Blackout, then I would say my sniping guess would be somewhere in the neighborhood of like 12 to 13, well 12 to 15, but no higher than 15 unless it's full of remastered maps that are just shit from leftover assets that they had from.
Well, I mean, the thing you were talking about, like the whole reusing assets thing, and the fact that Blackout is basically going to be a combination of all different multiplayer maps that we've had over the past few years, that to me, in Zombies, is Revelations, because it was literally a bunch of zombie maps stuck together, and then boom, you got this, I quote, new map, when really it's not.
Yeah, exactly.
It's basically the zombie version of Blackout.
And then from that, we got Zombie Chronicles because of the assets they had when they made Revelations, and they also had a lot of spare time and money.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly, and that's exactly what I imagine Blackout's probably gonna play like, and the new areas, quote unquote, will just be areas that are in between maps that you've already seen 100
Exactly.
freaking times, and the only thing that's gonna be great or quote unquote great about Blackout will probably just be the fact that it'll probably end up playing like COD Online's Battle Royale mode did, which the only reason I know anything about it is because I watched Merc Music's channel. He did.
The literal new thing in Blackout, like the new areas, will literally be a rock, some grass, and maybe a pine tree. That's what we're gonna see. This fucking new.
Yeah, nothing all that impressively like amazing. It'll be just as impressive as the Revelations starting room, which is the only new part of Revelations.
Yeah.
Well, and also technically the Apothecon as well, like the inside.
Yeah, but that's so. I would say that's so indifferent, but then again, that's like my training place when I play that map. So
I think
People
my
were
turning place
underrated
is
in this.
the spawn room.
Hi, I'm still
Oh.
here.
Hi,
Asteroids
Sean.
in, hey!
He's
Well,
finally got internet that's not
Alright.
dying. So,
I'm in-
how do you feel about the Black Ops 4 multiplayer beta, my friend?
Well, I haven't played it. I can't. So.
Feels
That's
bad.
a rip.
Good, dude. Also,
well,
I want to ask everybody. Have any of you guys ordered the mystery box edition?
Yes.
Also has.
No. Haven't you,
Lobster?
Lobster?
Yes, I have, yeah.
Yeah, he has.
Ooh, what one now?
What a lad, am I right?
I pre-ordered the mystery box edition, and I definitely 100% disagree with Reed and John from Zombros. I would 100% put the mystery box on display in my house because that definitely suits the aesthetic that is my life. 100%.
I mean, it's like I can see the controversy with the mystery box edition that, like, compared to last year's Juggernaut edition,
It wasn't so impressive.
it is a bit of a downgrade. But
Okay,
the thing is, with
But,
this
like,
edition, you'll
it's worse for me because as a Canadian, because of how the exchange rates work, I have to pay as much as you lads have to pay for one of those Primus statues for the entirety of the mystery box edition. I have to pay
Feels
$250,
bad, brother.
$260.
it definitely feels bad.
It's a yikes, boys.
It's a
Yeah,
yikes, boys.
that's a shame.
But anyways, moving on to the next topic, I want to talk about ZWC. And so obviously now we've had CWI and ZWC. They've been obviously streamed on YouTube and Twitch and what have you. How do you guys feel about the winning team as well as what like how it compared to last year's ZWC?
Could I take this one?
Go ahead,
Go
man.
for it.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I
Go
watched
ahead.
most of the event. I think I watched maybe 6 hours of it and then skimmed through the last hour. You know, it was the Easter egg speedrun, the Rise and Drag solo. Yeah, that was it. For the majority of it, pretty impressed. The ZWI on the Friday was really good. It was set up right. Couple of delays in the middle of the show. What could you do? You know, they had the camera facing all the players with the monitors, and they had the setups there. Yeah, it was good. It was like a behind the scenes of ZWC last year. The whole event was a lot better than ZWC. Massively improved. What do you guys think?
Well, I mean, I've seen parts of it. The main part I watched was the quiz, and
the middle part.
like
Controversial part.
some of
I-
those questions that were asked in the quiz, it still has me it still proves to me that I have quite a lot to learn about zombies because I knew very little of the questions.
See, I'm
They were
the
tough.
I'm the exact opposite because like I genuinely know way too much about zombies, not only in Treyarch side but also in World War II. So like I was not lost like at all. I found those questions to be right about where I would want them, but I totally agree that Infinite Warfare should have got a little bit of representation there. But that's whatever. What can you do? But my opinion about the whole of ZWI and ZWC is that it was definitely much better, I would say, than ZWC 1. And the ZWI thing, despite all the weirdness that was the lead up to deciding the winners and stuff, despite that, it was really entertaining and I loved watching it. Shout out to my boy Turbo. Love that kid, and I swear that motherfucker is gonna be blowing up. I swear.
Oh, without a doubt. That's without a doubt. I mean, Turbo is...
He was excellent.
He's an entertainment master.
He got the cult of personality, and all appearing on ZWC and ZWI did for him was just make it even better. Like, I've had many conversations with him. I'm like, dude, you could make, like, balancing a checkbook, like, entertaining. Just with your accent and the way you talk about things, it's just great. So him doing that only is going to make him keep going up, and people are going to keep tuning in and watching his stuff, and he's going to it'll probably be pretty slow like build up until Black Ops 4 like releases, and if he plays his cards right and he doesn't do any like really really dumb things, I could definitely see him being one of those people that's pushing 1 million by the end of Black Ops 4's. Like
Pushing
definitely.
1 million.
I
Jesus.
could genuinely see
I always
it.
say like 500k.
I definitely see him far passing 500k. But I would say if I was to give a sniping guess, I would say probably about 7.5 k. So 750.
750,000 subscribers. That's
Yeah,
massive
maybe.
in a year. Christ.
Well, yeah, dude. Honestly, that dude, like I said, he
He was full of energy. He was entertaining.
Like that. You got to think, right? Like this is how I look at how zombies sort of progressed, right? Back in the day when Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2 were the brand new games still, like the guy for zombies was basically Syndicate. We all know that.
For Black Ops 1, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for real.
and then
Yeah,
Or Dave the
definitely.
Brave, rest in peace.
yeah,
And also, my boy's coming back to the community.
Oh, that he
Kind
is.
of.
Syndicate?
Well, yeah, well, like kind of like he's starting to like be more active with zombies again.
yeah.
He did
But
the
he's
sim.
still
Have
super
the
out
same
of the
thing.
loop about things, but that
videos
anyway.
on, about how like Lex called him out and whatnot, and he redid
Yeah,
his
no.
own challenge out. It was pretty entertaining, honestly.
And I just want to make a comment on that
but-
real quick.
We all know that that's how it was that Tom was the guy, and then he
Yeah, he
pretty
was.
much he didn't fully leave, but he pretty much pieced out, which left that main being the guy or the people of zombies, that void just open, and that's how in my opinion anyways, how guys like Lex, Noah, I would say Dalek and Milo, but they were already there and they had a strong following, but like
Yeah.
that's how the big guys that really really blew up during Black Ops 3, I feel, became that way because of the fact that there was kind of that void left from not having a top tier guy that pretty much everyone in the dog and the zombies community watched.
Well,
And
hang
then
on.
it
Hang
pretty
on.
much spread
Hang
out.
on, real
in my
quick.
opinion.
Lobster has something to say.
As he mutes, good timing.
all I was gonna say was like it was about the whole Lex and Syndicate thing. Now, apparently, according to a tweet, Lex is actually he's gonna carry Syndicate through every single one of the Black Ops 3 Easter eggs to get him the RK5, and then
So
they're
they-
gonna do
Yeah,
a
that's what he said
proper
in this video.
they're gonna do a proper
What?
race to round 30 between the
Yeah,
two of
because
them.
in Syndicate's video talking about how Lex called him out, he was like, "Oh, how do you have the RK5? You're a wizard." Because apparently Tom is that out of the loop that he doesn't know.
Oh,
if you
no,
all the
Tom.
Easter eggs.
He's
Yeah.
never been an Easter
you
egg
get
guy
there.
though. That's the thing. He's Syndicate. We've all known Syndicate
true
from
as well.
gameplay, from challenges, but he
Yeah,
has
that
never
was-
been an Easter egg guy. I mean, yeah, he's
That was
done.
the
He
thing,
done.
when Zombie Chronicles came out. I remember I was watching a stream. I remember he was in it with Dalek. I think Noah.
Yeah.
and-
They played Shangri-La.
Yeah, they were playing Shangri-La, and he was, and this is no offense to my man Liam, but like he was basically doing what Liam does in most.
Well, hang on a moment,
Easter egg
mate. We're not here
stuff.
to attack
You just
anyone,
can't
right?
hold the zombie and just kind of
Just dig anyone
make
out
sure
here.
that nobody dies. Well,
I-
literally, when I watched, literally Tom was just running a zombie while everyone else was doing all
Someone
the work.
has to do that, mate, to be fair. But
Yeah,
going back
be
to Black
fair.
Ops 3, the beginning of that, he also had a challenge for Call of the Dead. You had to get to round 5, and you had to go into the
Yep.
lighthouse and then survive for as long as you could. So he's doing a similar thing. He's trying to build up hype for the community. So he's trying to do
Yeah.
something. He's trying to push something through. The odd video, it doesn't, it's not going to hurt anyone.
Yeah.
Well, and you got to think with when it comes to Tom, that core zombies base didn't really go away, and every time Tom does upload anything to do with zombies, you got to think those videos probably all reach probably nearing millions of views, because
Well, of
it's
course they
Tom
do.
and because it's like, oh my gosh, he's doing his OG thing.
And plus, he has like millions and millions of subscribers now as well.
Exactly.
Bugs in for so long as well.
Yeah, exactly. So
And honestly, personally, I really enjoyed his
Hmm.
vlogs. They're pretty good.
He's
I,
got a
I wonder if you like keep a healthy balance with both of those.
Tom's got a soft spot for the community.
Yeah,
It really
exactly.
does.
Yeah, definitely.
First
But,
row.
yeah, But that's what I feel kind of happened with zombies was that we went from Tom and then he kind of more or less kind of walked back out of being the guy. We got Lex, Noah, those and like Pat and those kind of guys.
Codename
And then-
Pizza.
Yeah,
He went
exactly.
Actually, I
acid
just
from
thought of
Black Ops
something.
3.
I just thought of something.
Go on.
Killing time.
So back towards like the days of BO1, you guys remember Yodi Slay, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So like him and Yodi were like the best of fucking buds. If you like watch their videos, they would. Oh
Yeah.
god, they were having so much fun together.
From the
So probably
right now.
by the time when he passed away, that's probably when he was starting to think like, hey, maybe I should really take some
Yeah,
time
yeah.
away from the community.
Exactly. And that led to us getting Lex, Noah, Pizza, Pat, those kind of guys. And now like we're gonna get into this again later in our YouTubers returning thing, but like that's kind of where I feel like our community is sort of lacking this time around is that while pretty much all the really really big guys, save for like Pizza, Greg, even Reed, like most of the big guys went on to play other games. And that's not to call them out negative at all. That's just to say that they did it, and nothing against them for doing it at all. But
Not at all.
they did, and they're going to be coming back for Black Ops 4, and thus that will probably make it so that way the likelihood of someone blowing up as fast as someone like Lex did or like Noah did won't be as likely, in my opinion, because of the fact that the top guys are still right there doing
Yeah.
uploads every single DLC, every single day that they can, versus when those guys were really really starting to blow up. Syndicate would still upload zombie stuff, but it was very few and far between.
Definitely.
But you just said Turbo was going to go from however many subscribers he has
Yeah,
now
I
to
think-
750,000.
I think Turbo will, but I think the one thing that would hold him back from going further or even getting to that number would be because of that.
I agree.
Right. Okay. Okay. Just want to throw a question out there, lads. The Strife pistol from the beta.
I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah,
What do we call the starting pistol for zombies?
that's
The
what I
wouldn't
was.
mind.
I was thinking it was gonna be the starter pistol, the Strife there. I was assuming that because especially if you go back and watch the Blood trailer, that kind
Yeah.
of seems like it's the pistol that Dempsey's holding.
Does
But
look
it
like it,
also-
actually.
But it
Yeah, for
also
sure.
sounds and looks like it's also really overpowered in that cutscene. But then again, we also see in World War II cutscenes that the grease gun is secretly a shotgun.
Mm-hmm. So
that was-
there's just it's just stuff there that just doesn't make sense. But yeah.
But yeah, I'm assuming that that's probably going to be our top, like our starting pistol will probably be that, unless of course with mutations, like maybe we might get something like different where it's like, hey, you can change your starting pistol.
Actually, yeah, I'm
Speaking
pretty
of
sure
which,
with the mutation stuff you can.
how do you guys feel like mutations are gonna work? Do you feel like on day one we're gonna be able to like load up every single zombies map and like load it up with any sort of change or mutation, or do you feel like it's
Nah.
gonna be
It's like-
left behind a progression system?
I think they're gonna update it. It's gonna be basic things, so it'll be a bit like the custom games on Black Ops 2. Maybe you could start round 20, round 30. Then it'll be things like maybe you want to play a gun game in zombies, or you want to do a 2-box. There'll be like a base thing. Maybe there'll be challenges that'll be taken out of the game, put back in the game. We'll see.
Yeah.
They said they're gonna do like traditional like events and whatnot, like how they usually do, but like gonna be way more often.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping that the mutation
They're gonna be pumping out content constantly.
I'm hoping that the mutations goes all the way to being able to try and customize what enemies appear in what maps, because like what would be cooler than being able to like play classified with or without, the Pentagon Thief. Or like if you're playing Blood and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna throw the Pentagon Thief in here. Why not? Just to see what happens. Like I think that would be cool.
That would be an option. Which it would be
Do I
cool.
think it will happen? Probably not, but I would love to see it. And I swear, I know our next topic is the classified predictions, but I swear to God, if I don't see a bonfire sale in classified at least, I'm gonna be very upset. The best drop
talking here, boys.
Period.
Well, should we make that the next topic? Classified predictions?
That is our next topic.
Why not?
I don't have a list of these topics, so I believe Lobster does, and I don't.
The only reason I know what the topics
Lobster,
are
you...
thing.
Sorry, what was
Is
that?
Lobster even there?
Lobster,
Classified.
mate.
You lad.
So going into the classified predictions, so like what you were saying before, it actually leads quite nicely into this now. Like, as you said just there, Lux, you're very passionate about seeing the bonfire sale return, which I think we all are. Like, that power up was one of the best things ever.
One of the best things. That thing is literally the best drop you could ever get.
Putting the bonfire sale aside, what else would you want to see? Because it's obviously now it's been confirmed that classified it's not a remaster, it's a remake. So we're obviously getting more of the Pentagon. But what, like, taking some highlights from 5, what would you want to see return in the map?
Return. Claymores for sure.
Oh,
hell yeah!
I definitely did not like the
trip mines
that we got in Black Ops 3.
Mines, yeah.
I did not like those trip mines at all. They were absolute garbage. They're a bit too
weak.
Well, see, this is my thing. I remember back in the day when you played Black Ops 1 or even Black Ops 2, and you got claymores or spikemores. You put them down, and those would actually kill a zombie. Maybe that's just me. Because those trip mines, they don't kill shit.
Yeah, the trip mines were pretty like. I mean, they were there just like they were there as an extra.
I got them from the box. Like I got it technically for 50 points cheaper, but I'm like, I would have rather got a freaking XM53 than these stupid trip mines. One thing that World War II definitely did better than Treyarch was the fact that their grenades actually do things.
Well, that's not their fault. They took the asset from multiplayer at the time. It wasn't Claymores, which was in Black Ops 2.
Yeah.
It was trip mines this time. They have to take stuff from the multiplayer. Any loose assets, they're like, "Hi guys, can we just have something from multiplayer?" And the multiplayer team are like, "Yeah, sure."
But
keep it in trip mines.
Even though they took trip mines, they still could have actually made them powerful trip mines that actually did things, as opposed
they
to...
are underpowered.
I would say they were more focused with the maps themselves than trip mines. I will say gameplay would definitely be more important.
Oh no, they did a really bad job at balancing weapons in Black Ops 3.
It really did,
Because
but honestly, with Black Ops 4, I've seen, from what I know, that they've really done a good job with balancing weapons.
Yeah, so far from the multiplayer side, I'm seeing good weapon balance of that. Any gun can be good if you're actually good at aiming and doing things.
Yep.
I want to turn attention to Asteroid for a second right here. Asteroid, going to the classified predictions, and what would you want to see return in the map?
I think he's muted.
I think my boy's AFK.
My lad.
Well, he keeps like casually typing and then not typing, so I'm gonna assume that he's having more internet troubles at the moment.
Okay, well we'll come back to Asteroid.
I guess I can say my predictions now.
Yeah, go ahead.
What I want is I don't want the starting room to be the same. I want it to be like in the labs area. That's where I want the starting room to be.
That's a good one.
I want like the starting room area, I want that to be like way more open. Like the barriers, I want that to be like actually playable. That'd be really cool to see. And
so
as well as like
you can move around the offices.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That's an easy fix. Yeah, I reckon they could probably
like
throw that.
like the PC mod, maybe like where you can actually get into
just like somewhat similar to the PC mod, but way more open.
Okay, let me
Okay.
ask you guys this, because we know from
Go for it.
we know from the 5 map that they have prototypes or broken versions of good old Thundergun and
Yeah,
the
the
ray gun.
reverse
Do you like,
engineering of the weapon.
and of course the Winter's Howl and Winter's Fury. What do we think about possible wonder weapons? And we also know, I know this specifically from Q9Z, that they were originally looking at trying to do the Wunderwaffe on 5 as well. What do we
Yeah, I
think about
remember that.
wonder weapons on Classified this time? Do we want to see the Winter's Howl return, or maybe see the Thunder Gun for the 8 billionth time?
Well, actually, I was actually speaking to a little while ago. I was speaking to Waffles about this this particular subject, and what would be cool is what I would like to see. Obviously the Thunder Gun is there. It's on the table. It's broken, right? But you can't just merely pick it up. You have to go and do, say, 2 to 3 challenges to then grab the parts for the Thunder Gun. You then assemble it onto the table, and then it's yours. Like, I don't want to just simply go to the box, grab the weapon, go to the table, grab the weapon. I want like a little challenge in there.
A little challenge.
I want there to be like a bit of a
to...
journey for actually to
Few
get the
steps.
weapon that you would actually feel,
Yeah.
accomplished to get the weapon.
Exactly.
But also, what I really want for, like, as you were saying, like assembling the weapon, I don't want the weapon to, like, as soon as you build it, boom, it looks the exact same as it would in Black Ops 1. I want it to be somewhat different, where like oh, you can see like how like some parts are like kind of like sticking out a little bit. You can see like you have to
make
like
it look like you
kind
MacGyver
of like
that.
make things stick, like it's a bit of duct tape, blah blah blah, stuff like that.
Yeah, it looks like an actual
what I would like to
prototype
see.
rather than the
like
actual
you MacGyver
weapon.
the shit out of this.
Like key to me. I really like details.
Yeah, and I think I really like that idea. The only thing that I have with it is I totally like the concept of doing a quest or like some sort of challenge for it, but I just want it to be less of a repetitive, sort of tedious, sort of just annoying thing that I get when I play like Horizon Rock. I don't want to go in and
probably like something
be able to play
like probably
the map.
some.
Oh, I think Waffles just accidentally muted
Oh,
himself.
I think it has.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Go on.
So like maybe something simple, like say for like I don't know, like getting a certain amount of headshots, certain amount of kills, blah blah blah, stuff like that. Certain amount of kills with traps.
Yeah, something that's like, or
Maybe
like,
stuff like that.
or take influence even from one map that, again, we've established that I'm not a huge fan of, Mob, but like maybe like you have to actually go and collect the part and then build it, but you collecting the part isn't as simple as it is in Buried, where you just open a door, pick it up, go to the table, build it. No, you gotta like actually go and do some sort of task, and then it will fall down or release, kind of like the dragon egg even from Garage.
Well, one of the best things about the Blundergat in Mob of the Dead is that, yeah, it is a weapon that you just simply go and pick it up from the box, but one of my favorite things about the Blundergat is its variants. You can either just have the normal Blundergat, you can have the Acid Gat, you can have the Sweeper, or you could have its ultra version of Viltronic Withering. You've got an option there to choose which one you would prefer to use. So say you're doing a challenge or something, okay, I'm only going to use the Sweeper. The option is there, but you don't have to change any weapons. It's the same weapon.
Yeah, plus you can choose to not try and get it out of the box. You can actually go and do the quest and get that.
Exactly. Yeah,
Also,
exactly.
we
That's what I
should
was gonna
ask
say.
this because of the fact that we are a little bit talking about Mob, and we touched on mutations. Do we want to see the Hell's Retriever and Hell's Redeemer back? And do you want to see it in any map that isn't Blood of the Dead?
Hell's Retriever.
If they were to implement
yes,
it that way,
I would want to
you
see
wanna
the Hell's
see
Retriever
them,
back.
Or
I
will
would
it
love
feel
to see
too
the
much
House
like
Retriever back, but I
every
don't want any
DLC
other maps. That's just me personally.
I'm looking for innovation from Black Ops 4. I'm looking for new things. Keep the staples the same, but features like the throwing from Mob of the Dead. They could do whatever they want with that. I'm not too bothered.
Yeah, I mean, I can
That's a big
see,
Yeah, definitely.
I can see that sort of thing happening with Voyage of Despair and Classified, and not Classified, sorry, 9. Like, because they're essentially, we're getting a new crew, new weapons, and that's our new thing. And so any like implementations they take from the multiplayer and so forth, I can see them being put into 9 and Voyage of Despair, whereas Blood of the Dead and Classified will still get our classic things of like the Hell's Retriever, bosses and so forth, like stuff we've seen before.
See, my biggest issue is I hope that they wouldn't put it as like a thing that would be in mutations where you can turn it on and off any map, for the simple reason of like that's one of those things that makes me want to play Mob of the Dead no matter how I feel about that map, because like that's the only map that I can get a throwing anything that I can throw and it comes back to me.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
And I like that, and I definitely want to see it on more than just Mob of the Dead / Blood of the Dead, because again, like I'm not a super fan of the map. So I would love to see it in other maps, but I don't want to see it overdone that it loses its novelty.
Yeah, but
You know?
go,
So
like
maybe
build,
throw it in just like something like Classified.
like building onto that point real quick. The Hell's Retriever / Redeemer, I think, is part of what makes Mob of the Dead so unique. It's the only weapon which you can throw out a power up and it comes back to you. Like it's weapons like that that make these sorts of maps so unique and different, because you can only get it in the one map.
Exactly. It's just like the baby gun on Shang or the VR11
definitely.
or the scavenger on Call of the Dead. Those are guns and weapons that you can't use anywhere else, which is why after BL3 and after Zombie Chronicles, I don't really like, as cool as the Thunder Gun is, I don't want to see the Thunder Gun again, and I don't want to see the Apothecon Servant. I don't really want to see the ray gun.
Do you want to see the Winter's Howl in Classified?
Yes.
I kind of do.
I
What is
want
one of these?
I want to see like a thing, like building off of what we were talking about before about what they could do with the Thunder Gun. I want to see like, just also as a little bit of a kick in the face to the fact that the presidents have a shit Winter's Howl. I want like Richtofen to like find some parts around the Pentagon that makes the Winter's Howl actually good and viable and useful,
That would be cool.
and have it so that way Ultimus has a really good Winter's Howl, and then they leave and no trace of that Winter's Howl exists. So the presidents are still stuck with the shit one. That
Maybe
would
it's
be
like a
cool.
key.
So that way you could be like, oh yeah, Richtofen was the one that thought it up, and it makes sense because he's an evil genius scientist and he worked on the Wonderwap, so of course he knows how to do stuff with weapons.
Yes.
And
Also-
there was no sign because they only made maybe one, and then that was how they used it in the Easter egg or something to get out, or something really, really crazy like that. But like that's what I want to see, especially because the idea of spitting in the face of the presidents ahead of time was like, "Ha, you get the bad one."
Wait a minute.
Also,
I'll
real
check.
quick, I wanted to mention something with Blood of the Dead, or just Blood of the Dead in general. I remember watching a series, like on zombies that would show like cut content from like each map, and I remember you were originally supposed to have the Shadows of Evil sword inside of Mob of the Dead instead of the Hell's Retriever.
I did
Oh,
not know
really?
that. That is a trivia I did not know.
That's interesting.
I will have
Also,
to find the video.
If we're gonna talk about those sorts of things, do you lads hope that we'll get the snapping Richtofen head?
Oh God, no! It's not coming
That's
back.
not.
It's not coming back.
That's not gonna be.
It's
That's not
That
going
would be-
back at all.
That would be an interesting idea.
I just
I
want
would
to
say
know
that would
what
be
it
an
would
interesting
do.
idea.
I just want to know what it would do.
Actually, ooh, what about
Scholar
this?
Nan Savoy.
Then okay. So we know that like maybe there's a possibility that the Richtofen that they met inside of Blood of Dead is like probably not the Richtofen that we've seen in the comics. So there could be a possibility where like I remember I was talking to Lobster about this, where they might have killed the Richtofen that was waiting for them, but he like I don't know like stashed his body somewhere and like he kept his head somewhere, and so maybe that's a possibility we could find his head somewhere. I think that'd be a really
what if
cool
Treyarch
idea.
does that as like you can find the severed head, but you can't pick it up, just as a little nod and a little poke to be like, yeah, that was a real thing. We were actually thinking about, lads. And maybe like
That'd be really
it's
cool.
almost like a jump scare, like how it was in like Zetsubo, where like if you look at it for
Yeah.
long enough, it like turns on its own and like laughs at you.
It turns and
God,
like
creepy.
screams at you. Yeah, that'd be a really
Yeah,
cool idea.
That'd be fucking great. Treyarch, hire us. We got you,
Fire us,
fam.
lads.
I have
think
one
they know
one
what
more
they're doing,
question. One more question to do with the classified predictions before we move on to the next topic here. It's to do with the presidents, and do you think we will get an Easter egg with classified where we per se have to free the presidents, or do you think they'll be involved in classified in some shape or form?
Won't be involved at all. Next question.
Yeah,
They won't be.
Lamau.
I don't think so, honestly, because especially from that Polygon interview and like the stuff that Jason was talking about in that interview, like I honestly feel like the relevance of the presidents is not really anything that really needs to be explored. It's not something that the community's being like, oh my god, we need to know about this. But then again, knowing Treyarch, they will answer that just to be trolls and leave us like with other questions. Like they'll still not answer who the hell the freaking blacked out portrait is or why the Kino portraits are in the map, but they'll answer why the presidents were involved.
Questions.
Yeah, they'll give us answers to questions we didn't really want the answers to.
And we have more
Interesting.
questions about the thing that they just answered to. And we're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, we're
we're
just like,
always gonna have
why?
questions. It's like
Why, though?
Treyarch is one of
And
those.
then we completely forget about the original idea.
Yeah, I mean, Treyarch is one of those developers with the storyline that they could give us answers and answers and answers, but yet we will still have so many questions that will remain unanswered.
Exactly.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like you gotta that's like why Treyarch is considered to be the kings of zombies, is because of the fact that literally any and every single word, expression, facial expression, anything that any
No, even for example,
zombies
the
developer
Q&A
does.
that Milo did. That like my man's Blundell fucking did Morse code by blinking.
Yeah,
Like what a lad.
Absolutely.
What a lad.
Absolutely everything
lad.
that any of them do, anything. If anyone suspects it of something, we all get our tinfoil hats on, we fucking explode, and we're like, oh my god,
'Cause we're
I know
starved
the
of
solution
content.
to everything.
We're
Yeah.
starved of content, so we have to.
Yeah, we do.
So,
True.
that's the thing. Treyarch literally has the power to, like, and that's what we all know Jason laughs about, is that we talk about all the random shit that he's just like, I probably already answered that for you. You just don't know it yet.
So
Just
By the way,
sit
you guys remember the
back
oh,
and
real quick, I
build
just
up
thought about
feedback
this.
so you must be weirdos and just like, lol.
I just remembered something. You guys remember the impossible Easter egg that was gonna be on Shadows of Evil?
Yeah.
yes,
Possibilities that if that's been solved already or not.
they are not going to tell us.
Yeah, of course
Yeah,
not. But
they're
like I'm
not.
saying, do we think that we've already solved it or not?
Because
Because Jason said before that this is something you cannot data mine whatsoever. So, and you guys remember the video from Glitchy Queen where she was like talking about like, oh, you can find some scrapped papers on top of this roof and it spells out the number 57.
Yes, yeah, I
I
remember that.
remember seeing that Queen video. I honestly
Yeah.
feel like that Easter egg or that whatever word that Jason used is probably something akin to what he also kind of said in a completely different interview where in the lightning round with Milo, where Milo asked him, are there any Easter eggs or anything that have yet to be solved in, and then he goes from World at War all the way up to Black Ops 2, and Jason says there's stuff that we haven't found and we haven't figured out yet in World
Yes.
at War and Black Ops 1.
Yeah. And that's when we realized there was a cipher inside the character bios.
Yeah, and
And then
I think that
now everyone is
that
just fucking shit.
and that's what I think it is it's not something that you're gonna find through data mining. Like if this happens, do this. No, it's probably something more like we didn't pay enough attention to the Varrock drawings on the walls or something small that we've seen 100 million times, but there's like something that might have been something that they actually were thinking about ahead of time, or they probably weren't, but now that Jason's in charge and he can retcon anything he wants, they're gonna be like, that actually has meaning now. You didn't think it did, but it did now.
We will see, won't we?
We will
But
see.
in conclusion,
Like the Lost numbers, right? Like the numbers from Lost. Now suddenly they have a meaning. Something like that could be something that I would see them doing in Shadows, where it's just like this one thing that we look at 100,000 times and we don't really pay it any mention. Probably secretly has some sort of real meaning that we're like, in front of our faces, because that's what Treyarch likes to do. Huh? Got you. It was right in face, loser.
yes.
Yeah, they like to give us ideas at like towards the beginning of when they're trying to think of what to do with it, and then later on down the line they'll fully give us stuff about it. They were like, wow, they've already been planning this kind of stuff for since like I don't know, for example, since like Shangri-La.
Exactly.
Sorry, Mark. You were going to say something, Mark.
Is really upset. Going to be really upset if we don't figure out whether or not.
I was just going to say, in conclusion, I don't think I forgot what the question was. Now we got so off.
It was about the presidents.
Yeah, we really did.
The question about classified. I don't think we're going to get. What was it? What was it, Lobster?
It was the presidents. Like whether the presidents were going to make an appearance.
Yeah,
We're on to the topic of the Shadows impossible Easter egg. Anyway.
Well, the original question was the presidents on classified.
Yeah.
We just really got off topic.
I think we all pretty much said that probably not.
I feel like what they'll do with like the presidents, though, I feel like they're gonna it's gonna be something similar to like the how like on Go Ride you shoot like this like little like riff thing, and you Dr. Monty will talk to you, and give you like quotes and stuff for like each character, as well if you would go down as well. But what I was thinking was maybe they could do the same thing, and you hear the president hear quotes for the presidents.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be.
I think that's a really neat idea.
Just a little Easter egg.
Time that tells you something.
Why not?
Why not? Anyway, that was fun. So, moving on to the next topic. This was actually one submitted in by Lux himself. It's talking about the journey of World War II zombies so far, and what can we potentially expect from DLC 4. Like, what has our experience been from the Final Reich all the way through to the Tortured Path? What do we think of World War II zombies, and whether DLC 4 could actually make a comeback?
Should we go around the group?
Yeah. Okay. Let's start with Waffles. Waffles, what do you think?
World War II's peak zombies was at the Darkest Shore. They had a really slow start because of the like the Easter egg was solid before even the game came out. So when it was supposed to come out, at least, because people got early copies. So the Final Reich was pretty much not that well for the beginning of the game. So it was really boring for a while until DLC 1 came out. Then, in my opinion, that's when it really peaked, because for myself, I really think the map was really, really good, and it was really laid out as well. And then with the what was the map that came after that?
It was the Shadowed Throne afterwards.
Yeah, the Shadowed Throne.
Okay.
The Shadowed Throne was all right. I just got really, really heavy Golrod vibes from it. I don't even remember what the third DLC is called.
The Tortured Path.
Tortured Path.
The Tortured Path. That was just a bad idea in general, honestly. They really shouldn't have done that. It was just they gave us fucking survival maps that you can only go for 10 to 11 rounds on, and you have to complete 3 Easter eggs on them. Like, how? And plus, if you mess up a challenge by accident, you got to restart. No fucking buts or ifs about it. You got to restart.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go last on this topic.
Okay. Is Asteroid able to speak now? Is his internet working?
I do not know.
Oh man.
I don't think he is. Bless him. Okay, Mark, you go.
Oh, also,
Okay, I
well, I was gonna.
go on.
Well, Mark. Oh, I was gonna say like one last thing about like I didn't really mention about DLC 4 what I think it's gonna be. I really have really low hopes about it. I have like I don't know. I just feel like it's not gonna do well whatsoever, and the game is just gonna leave a bad taste in everyone's mouth, and we're just not gonna care about it whatsoever.
Okay.
So that's my thoughts.
I'll take the ban. The hype, the biggest point of World War II Zombies has been launch. It got a lot of praise for the prologue, Grustenhaus. The final Reich was alright for the first few times. I think launch really had the microscope on it. Some of the zombies community was not really bothered. Some people were zombies privileged. I mean, well, that's another story for another day. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, I'd say launch maybe the following week. The Easter egg being solved. Yeah, and for DLC 4, I don't know. They're gonna have to try. They're gonna have to pull something out of the hat because the community just doesn't care at the moment that much. Maybe I'm wrong. That maybe it has a smaller section that we're just not seeing. But the main zombies YouTubers, the Noahs, the Smiths plays, the Syndicates, the Ruffle Waffles, he's fed up. He made a rant video after DLC 3. Not a lot of positives in that rant video.
Including Lex. He made a video about it too.
Lex. Oh boy. Ooh.
Fuck it. I've never seen Lex this mad before. Never.
This is not good. Sledgehammer really got to
Yeah,
pull their finger
fucked
out their
up.
ass what they're doing. The problems they've had behind the scenes as well is if it's not what Activision want, they want to be top dogs. They want best-selling game every year, best-selling game. They want to be beating these other franchises. And having studio influences, having people leaving, people not coming in, having 8 people apparently on the Zombies team. I know that's a rumor, but that's not good enough. That's not good. This is Activision. This is Call of Duty. This is
who was the guy that was like the head of Sledgehammer and he got promoted to
Michael
being
Condrey.
part of. Yeah, Michael Condrey. He got promoted into being in Activision halfway through the game's life cycle. Then when the new guy came in, the multiplayer, in my opinion, became way fucking worse. The campaign was really good when Michael Condrey was actually like the head of like Sledgehammer, but no, when the new guy came in, they did, hey, let's do a division overhaul, let's do all these things, nerf a lot of this, blah blah blah, and add some new stuff. In my opinion, they really their lowest point with multiplayer was when they did the division overhaul, and honestly, it's been downhill since.
Yeah, that's
okay.
good.
But to sum up my DLC 4, I've absolutely no idea what they're gonna do. Not enough people are interested in it. They're gonna try and tie this up in a neat little bow. Maybe some exo zombie throw-ins.
So zombies
I honestly
prequel.
don't even know
That's
what's
about it.
going on in the story.
Right, so I'm back, lads. Did we all go through all of our stuff?
Asteroid, what would you what's your thoughts on it?
DLC 4 for World War II.
Just your general experience from the Final Reich to the Torture Path and your predictions for DLC 4.
Well, the Final that one through the Torture Path actually was a very good DLC season, probably. From the looks of it, like, I thought the maps looked like they played well. I wasn't able to play it for obvious reasons, but it seems like it was pretty good, not gonna lie. And this is like the first legitimate thing I've said all day, so this is it. Yep. One sec. But it's alright. So anyways, like, it was pretty good though. I thought the DLC season was good, and hopefully they ended on a good note, but I think that the ending of the Torture Path was a very underwhelming. I don't like it at all.
Interesting. And what do you think about DLC 4? Like, where can you see that going?
I don't know what we could see there. Yeah, those are. That's mine. Yeah, I don't know. Have we gotten any trailers for it though? I haven't been paying attention.
No,
You right about that?
no, not yet.
No, not at all.
I haven't been paying. I don't even know. I don't know what to expect.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, Lux, how about you?
Right. So it should be noted that I definitely it's probably pretty apparent that I have kind of a bias because I love World War II. I pre-ordered that bitch. I play it to this day. I've been attempting to get the Darkest Shore solo Easter egg completed.
Philip, fair play to you, mate. Fair play to you.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of World War II zombies. So I honestly, when it came to the Final Reich, first few times I played it, I was like, this is interesting. I like it. But then as I kind of got more into it, I kind of my liking for that particular map went downward just because I found it to be quite hectic, quite crazy with everything going on. And that I found the map design for that map was very odd for me. So I was itching for something new, and it was really weird because I honestly didn't even know that if you followed everything on the notebook, that you would be completing the casual Easter egg until I almost did it by complete accident with my friend. Like literally, we had no idea, and we were just following what it was telling us, and then we got to the voice of God step, and we had no idea what the hell to do because we weren't really paying attention at all, and then we just kind of got bored and died. So it was a little bit of an odd start, but then we got into I never really ended up playing Ghost in House apart from within the tutorial thing, which that was fine by me. I still honestly haven't done the Final Reich Easter egg. But that's okay with me. And then we get into the Darkest Shore. And man, oh man, it should be well noted that the Darkest Shore is, I joke you not, number 2 on my top zombies maps of all time. Made by any developer.
All developer.
By any developer. Treyarch included.
Wow.
It's my number 2 map.
That's high.
And the reason I rank it so high is because it really, really hits a lot of notes that are the easiest ways into my heart. Like there's a lot. That was where I thought that Sledgehammer really started to dive into that rewarding the players that really care, rewarding the people that really wanted to pay attention and be a part of that kind of thing, because it's got like the awesome mythology that's kind of like Nordic, and I like that. It's got like the cultiness and like the unsettling vibes about it, and I'm like, yes. It's also the map that everyone basically just says is the character map of Drosten, which is my favorite character thus far because David Tennant's amazing.
I'll agree with you there.
and I honestly, the Darkest Shore was such a great map for me because it genuinely scares me. And I've watched like every horror movie known to man. I've seen a fair share of really, really scary, creepy shit in my life. And I still get creeped out by the moishless all the time. And to the people that say that the map is too hard and, oh, I don't like the fog, if you actually played the map and you actually understood, like, this was the thing that killed me about this map, was that, you know, I get it. We had maps like Transit. We had maps like Call of the Dead and all these maps that were filled with fog, filled with gray, and, you know, it never changed anything mechanically. And it was just a bit ugly. And I get that. Completely understand. I played all those maps too. But here's the thing about the Darkest Shore. The Darkest Shore is the only map to date to do fog correctly. Where fog rolls in, and the only zombie that can see you is the one that is technically, legitimately smarter than every other zombie. But any base zombie, whether it's a whistling, a bomber, a pest, or a normal zombie, they will not attack you if you do not fire your weapon. And if you get really close, they'll kind of start to maybe sort of attack you, but they're not going to be anywhere near as vicious. Like, you could be on round 50 and the fog could roll in and they won't be chasing you and hoarding unless you're being an absolute stupid idiot and firing your gun everywhere. And it's been proven that if you buy stamina up for World War II, World War II's version of Stamina Up, you
Yeah.
can literally outrun the Moishla during the entirety of the fog and not go down and not get hit by him.
Well,
I'll
isn't
wait-
that supposed to be right? You should have something to counteract something difficult. That's what makes Treyarch zombies so good, because you'll have something difficult, you'll have something to compensate for it.
Yeah, so you can
Yeah.
not only outrun it, but I always found in my gameplays when I've played it that he's really not that hard to kill. I found like a bunch of different ways, and I don't not anybody that's like gone out and changed my loadout for it either. I've killed him many times with many different weapons fairly quickly. I've ran right up to him and been like, "Come give me a big hug," and then killed him. It was been pretty funny. I do it a lot on stream actually. So that is why I like the Darkest Shore. It's one of my favorite maps. Because it really kind of was that map that really gave you a reason, if you actually cared about World War II and the story and where it could be going, it gave you that reason to be like, all right, I feel like I'm getting rewarded for this stuff. Then we
Yeah.
we move on to the Shadow Throne, and I actually really enjoyed that map too. I definitely I see where people are coming from when they say, "Oh, I get Garage Crovey vibes," but I also disagree because of the fact that the Shadow Throne was actually fairly accurate to how Berlin would have probably been looking, save for like the huge zeppelins and the things shooting down from the zeppelins and the actual zombies and the things that are actually related to specifically zombies. But the city on fire, all that stuff, the atmosphere of it, and this is what Sledgehammer does, in my opinion, much better than Treyarch most of the time, is that they always nail that atmosphere. That this is fucking unnerving. Like, you're just like, I don't want to be here at all. And I felt that with Garage Crovey, with the presence of the dragon, Nikolai's voice every 2 seconds, and then Monty introduction, and just all of that, and the big robots and stuff, that really pulled me out of thinking that this was anything to do with Stalingrad. Because as far as I was aware, when it came to Garage Crovey, the only thing that actually resembled anything to do with real life Stalingrad was the fountain in the spawn, and that was it as far as I'm aware, which is pretty like, Treyarch's supposed to be the guys that are like premier top guys that are like using real locations. And as far as I know,
Yeah.
that's the only part of that map that was actually anything even close to accurate. And I was
Well,
like,
actually,
yeah, that breaks it for
Well,
me.
speaking of like that, like where Treyarch is known for like doing like real life locations, if you go on a BO2 and use the attack insertion on like multiplayer maps, and you look at the coordinates on the tactical insertion, you can put those what did I just say? What are they called?
Coordinates.
Coordinates. You can put those coordinates into Google Maps, and it'll actually give you a legit location that's like the map's actually based off on.
Exactly. And that's why like Gorod kind of breaks that for me, because I'm like, this map doesn't actually have a lot of actual accuracy to it. But I get the comparisons because everyone's like, it's the same sort of color palette and it's the same sort of concept of the city on fire. But as a history guy myself, like, I love history. You got to think that in the 1930s and 40s, a lot of major cities in Europe, like in centralized Europe, like not like islands like London, like the UK and stuff, but even those places, even still, looked very similar because they all were very interconnected by their economies, their everything, until the war broke out. And then, of course, every city's going to look pretty similar when they're all bombed to shit, if we're being fair. So, but all in all, Shadow Throne, I really liked it. I loved the melee parts of it, and I just thought that it was a very interesting Easter egg for sure. And I feel like that's most people's favorite map thus far from the World War II series. And then we get into the Torture Path, and I haven't actually gotten past chapter 1 of the Torture Path, but I have seen it. The only thing that frustrates me about it is exactly what you guys were saying, where it's just like, you mess up one objective and it's over. And like, and you don't even know when the objective is complete it or not until it just happens. Like I had one where I was on round 9 on chapter 1, and the objective was defeat the Moishlas. Okay, I killed 9 of those motherfuckers and failed. And I was like,
Yeah, there's a
how
lot
many
of
do
them.
I have to kill?
When me
So,
and
like,
Lobster first played it, we got the Worcester Challenge as well, and we had to kill about like it seemed like 20.
20. Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. So like you just kind of sat like I 100% agree that that's just ludicrous. And from what I've seen of gameplay of the other chapters, it's pretty much just the exact same thing. So I love the idea and the concept that they were going for with trying to mix up the formula, and the fact that they released technically 3 maps in one DLC. And in general, the whole thing was ballsy. And like people talk all the time about innovation.
It felt really
That
lazy
innovation.
as well.
Like that's the perfect example for me of being like, look guys, they innovated, they tried, they gave it the college try, they went out there, they dove into the deep end. Did it work for all of you? No, but mostly the people that didn't like the game were gonna shit on it anyways. Like when I was listening like and looking at stuff like tweets from like Milo and stuff where they're like, oh, I'm so confused about everything, and then everyone, oh, Milo, the storyline guy is confused, I'm like, this game must be shit. I was like, because Milo doesn't care.
I will
like-
also say it's not a good thing when Milo doesn't know what the fuck's going on.
Well,
Yeah,
if
it does help.
like him not knowing what's going on is mostly because of the fact that he doesn't care, and that's on him.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
If he doesn't care, I don't care if he doesn't care, but like don't make it a big deal. If like don't make it a big deal that you don't know what's going on if you haven't put in the effort to try and know what's going on, is my thing about it. So, and as for where DLC 4 is going, I tweeted at Cameron Dayton right after the Comic-Con reveal. So after we saw Blood of the Dead and after everyone was starting to get to the boiling point of hype, I tweeted right at Cameron Dayton. I was like, this is your opportunity. You hit us with a fucking banger of a close to World War II Zombies, and you could, even though many people did not like your season overall, if you hit us with one really good DLC that makes it all tied together really well, maybe leaves some open for the next game and all that kind of stuff, you could really hit something, just hit a chord, and just to hit it just right, that they will, like the community, even the people that don't like the game, will sit back and be like, okay, GG Sledgehammer, you know? And I feel like whatever we get is going to be striving for that. I don't know if they'll hit it. I hope they do, but who knows?
Okay, so there's something I wanted to say before we go into the next topic. It was it's I was originally nice.
Hang on a moment. Hang on. Whoa. Sorry. Lobster didn't get his opinion through. At least let him know.
Oh, yeah, Lobster, you go. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I mean, where do I fucking start with this game?
That's a yikes.
Also, I will agree, before Lobster says it, I will agree, whistling spawns, out of control.
Oh yeah, like brother, fucking. Oh, let's go to round 30, and this shouldn't be too much of a pain. Gets flat.
My
Gets like
favorite
50
World
fucking
War II
whistling. I want
videos
to kill
is
myself
Smart Guy
by the end of it.
It goes to like round like 50, and he just has shitloads of whistlings, and he takes them through the propeller trap, and it lags out his game. I'm just like, yeah, there's your proof. Too many whistlings.
Yeah. Cameron Dane, hey, we nerfed the amount of whistlings that spawn in. Plays one game of zombies afterwards. There's too fucking many whistlings.
We nerfed the whistling spawns. Are you sure about that?
Exactly. This is a yikes for me, dog.
Anyway, go on, Lobster.
Yeah, I mean, it's like with World War II Zombies. After seeing the trailer, I really wanted to like the game. They were really doing their best to try and move towards the horror aspect of their zombies. So they were doing their own take on it, and it looked really good. And after playing the Final Reich, I have to say that it's well, the Final Reich for me is the best map out of the whole season, because for a Sledgehammer's first proper zombies map, they did a good job with the mechanics, with the layout of the map, with the story. That map just generally to me felt like a really, really good map. And then obviously Groston House was a great survival map. You could have a lot of fun on there, and it was just, it was chaotic.
Some say the best map on World War 2.
Yeah, I think I will stand by them with that it is definitely one of the better maps in World War 2 Zombies, because it gets just absolutely fucking chaotic. I've played the map twice and I've just been like, oh, what? Oh, get me over here! It's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. Coming into the DLC season, the Darkest Shore really didn't impress me that much. But I'll agree with Lux in the fact that the Moistlers were definitely scary. Like the first time I come across one, I practically shit my pants because they scared the living tits out of me. And the whole fog mechanic, they definitely done it.
Not a fan.
No, they done it better than what Treyarch did, because it's like as Lux said, you don't move, they don't follow you, they don't go towards you. You can literally walk around the entire map with that fog, and not one zombie will touch you, and that's really good. But in terms of just the map overall, I really wasn't that massively impressed with it. Coming into the Shattered Throne, I liked it a bit more than what I did the Darkest Shore. Again, yes, getting Garrod vibes from it, but the boss fight really pissed me off because you were very, very, very limited on the max ammos. Literally, the max ammo you took into the boss fight was the max ammo that you would use, and no max ammo spawned in. I'm just like, well, you're bringing us into a boss fight. What's the point? You only need ammo to beat this boss, and you're saying, no, you've got to survive. You've got to just knife him to death. I'm just like, what?
I mean,
Plus, with me and Lobster's experience, we just had a very...
Oh, one at a time.
Sorry, doesn't the Wonder Weapon have infinite ammo technically, because it just recharges itself, right?
Well, then you have to like, technically.
I know you have to unload like pretty much a full hundo on the boss there, but like if you have the shot still, as far as I know, you could recharge it, right? So
yeah, you can, but even then, me and Lobster just really had a very bad experience with it. Is that so? Like the first time we went into it, right? We had high hopes. We finished 2 of the phases. So from there, from what we know from like past experience maps, so we expected a max ammo. We did not get a max ammo. So it was by then we've used up all of our max ammo or consumables, and we were just kind of stuck there, just constantly training over and over again. Just really could not do anything. And then the second time we tried it, we had very bad connection issues when we were in the boss fight for the second time around.
Yep.
Where everybody lagged out except for me. So I was just in the boss fight alone. And I couldn't do shit.
Like it was a very very.
Did you?
It was a bundle.
No, I did not, Mark.
It was a bundle of bad experiences with those boss fights. And then the tortured path comes around. Wow. Yeah, that map can literally go screw itself because me and Waffles and the 2 guys we kind of got stuck with in the public lobby, we did pretty good in getting past the first stage, even though it wasn't entirely. Yeah,
we got pretty lucky finding good players.
Yeah, I mean, we got really lucky with completing the first stage, but then it's the same concept of you screw up once and the game ends, and it's just like, well, you're essentially not giving us a second chance to redeem ourselves within the same game. You're basically saying, no, you guys have to start all over again. You have to do this again. Oh no, wait a minute, it's going to be a different challenge. It just doesn't make any sense to me for you to end the game because we made one physical mistake with the challenges.
I agree so hard with the challenge point because I can't tell you how many times I like after the first time I failed on the thing where you have to protect the battery or whatever.
Yeah.
And I figured, oh, I'll fix them. I'll pack a nuke consumable and another one that basically helps out with that sort of thing. I think it was an insta kill. And then I didn't get that challenge the next time I played, and I was like, well, me, okay. Plus, I also want to point
Well, I
out
guess I'll go fuck myself.
the torture path was like the funniest thing as well, because the very first chapter, zombies could accidentally spawn in with like brooms and shit going through their fucking like bodies and like buckets on their head, and I'm 100% certain that's not what they wanted, but it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, but so I've never got a very good experience with that map either. But it just World War II zombies. It's continuing. It's continuing to find ways to really piss me off, and that is the sole reason of why I stopped playing it in the first place. But the thing with me is I'm a fair zombies player. I will give every DLC a try because I don't want to be one of those critics that doesn't play it and turns around and says it's shit. That's not me. I'd rather give it at least one go, and then I can safely give my opinions on it.
You're a hero. One go.
Well, at least I played it.
What a lad.
So
yeah, I
but,
mean, I that's completely fair too.
Yeah,
to like be able to at least like that's exactly how I did it with Fortnite, right? Like I'm not a fan. I know I'm not a fan because I went out and I actually played it, and I'm not one of the people that was just like, oh, I hate Fortnite because everyone else is playing it. I was like, I played it and I didn't enjoy it, and these are the reasons. And that's what I would rather, is that you've actually played it and you're not one of those people that dislikes it because of like a zombies burnout or some sort of really, really dumb reason that's really, really makes very little sense to me. You like genuinely didn't enjoy it, and that's completely fair. Whereas like there's a lot of people out there that are like, oh, I can't get into World War II because I just like zombies burnout, man. And to that I always say, well, if this were a different a different universe within the multiverse, right? And we had World War II after Black Ops 3, but before Infinite Warfare, I feel as though we would be in a much different state. As far
I agree,
as
definitely. I agree.
not only hype going into Black Ops 4, but how World War II was received.
And in terms of DLC 4, I say I really couldn't give two monkeys about what happens in that DLC. But again, I'm a fair player. I will give it a try. But
when you give it 1.5 monkeys.
Give it one monkey. Like you play it one time. I'm fine.
I couldn't.
You can't just stick with 4 monkeys, mate. You gotta go and be like 1.5 monkeys. So that way everyone goes, how do you have half a monkey?
You've got to put at least half in. You know, just unzip half in. You know, I'm gonna pull out. Camera dating, fine. That's no one said this to camera dating.
Yikes, lad.
I think we should. I think sum it up, Lobster. Best map, and yeah.
Well,
right then.
Yeah,
The last topic then, lad.
Jesus Christ! But Samurai, World War II.
Is there another topic?
World War II. It's all right.
There's one more topic.
No, guys, come on. I haven't been talking at all, but what are we? What is?
I don't know.
The
I'm
last
so confused.
topic
Anyway,
is basically something that I have already touched on like twice. Is talking about favorite zombies maps from any developer, Treyarch, non-Treyarch. What are your favorite? Let's say 3, just so that way we kind of keep it down, because this has probably been a long podcast already. Let's do 3.
2 hours.
Let's do 3 each, and short, brief sentences as to why we like the maps that we like as your top 3, Treyarch or non-Treyarch.
Top 3. Okay.
Yes, top 3.
I have a whole list. Hold on.
Have we real quick, did we touch upon zombie YouTubers coming back?
I mean, we kind of touched on it when we were talking about.
Yeah, but we can go more in depth about it and talk about it.
I mean,
Well, here, we'll do that after the maps. We'll do that after the
The
maps.
maps. Who wants to go?
we'll do
Who
it.
wants to go first?
I feel like that'll be. I feel like the YouTubers returning will be a fast thing anyway. So anyway,
I
who
guess
wants to go first?
I
for,
guess I'll go
for
first.
maps, boys.
I guess I'll go first.
Go on, Waffles.
Oh,
Have a
so
go.
as Buster may know, I really like Origins, but I've been recently thinking more and more about it. In that Origins is no longer my favorite map of all time. Right now, Shadows of Evil is my favorite map of all time.
Codename Pizza proves.
My second favorite. This is a little hard. I would probably have to say maybe honestly Ascension. Probably
And
will have to be my
why?
second favorite.
Yeah.
Oh, I would say
So why,
the
why Ascension?
okay, so
Why
White
is-
Shadows is that it's a really good on disc map for people that are like veterans of the series and they can be really good
It's
jump
not on
NP.
this.
Have a
Is
lot
it?
of
It's DLC 1.
yes,
Shadows was
no, it's not, Mark.
Shadows was on disc map.
Oh, sorry. I thought
Waffles.
you meant Ascension.
Oh my lord, lad.
Yeah, we're getting there. Carry
Yeah.
on, Waffles.
So like I said, Shadows of Evil, really good map flow in my opinion. Really good story, and it's a map that veterans can get into of the series, and they can just hop in, have a good time, have fun, and they're because they'll be really, of course, they're gonna be really good at it. So they're gonna be really used to it as well. And that map too also has really good map flow. I would say, depending on which Ascension you play, I would say the weapons are really good for the map. And I just feel like there's like so many training spots that Ascension is really good for new beginners, and people can help each other out, like what to do on the map and whatnot. And it's just a lot of fun to play with friends as well. Like for example, I was playing with a friend of mine, and we got to around 45, and we were just having a fucking blast.
And your favorite map?
No, my third favorite, which would be like number 3, and like I said, my all time is Shadows of Evil.
Okay, so
But
third favorite map.
my third favorite map. Oh boy, this is a hard one, my dudes. Well, like I said, I'll probably have to go with the Origins.
Okay, just quickly,
enough,
FYI, let's do top 3 for each person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we already established that, my guy.
That's how you're.
Sorry, I was in the middle of something else.
Who wants
A
to go
moment
next?
when you're just late to the boat.
Hmm.
I'm used to it.
Asteroid?
Sure, I'll go.
But,
My top 3. This is including World at War remakes and like the remakes and stuff. So I'm
Anything.
listing the remakes.
Absolutely.
as
Remake
one.
Remade by
included.
Dev.
My top 3. Darius is 1. Nuketown Zombies is 2, and Town is 3.
Wow.
So
that is
all
ample.
all plain survival maps. That's an interesting
I
choice
quite
there.
like that.
Okay. And what
ones
are
I
the
like.
reasons behind your choices, my friend?
Okay, Darius, like every remake, Outbreak is an honorable mention because it's my fourth favorite.
Okay.
honestly, I have to
Yeah.
agree.
It's not non-Treyarch, but it's literal perfection.
That's fine. We're doing any map made by any developer and any game.
So
But quickly. Go on. Sorry.
okay, so I like Darius a lot just because it's a classic map. It's not my first played map, but it's one of those maps that I can just go in and have a good time with. He knows number 5 on my list, but it didn't make it suck because I played it too much. But I still love it as just for that nostalgia and how fun it is with the thunder gun, upgrading that thing and just watching zombies just fly and hit something. Well, the Reese I just love because I don't care about the broken Wonder Waff on World at War. It's still a very fun weapon for me. I enjoy it a lot. On Black Ops 1, it's a lot better, but I will say that they're both on par just because the Reese, it's a challenge with in World at War, but in Black Ops 1, it's still a challenge if you don't really know what you're doing, which is the type of player I am. Nuketown Zombies just because I fucking love Nuketown. It's
I
just
do
one
agree.
of those it's just one of those things that I have such a soft spot for. It's my style of map, and it's actually one of my most played maps in Black Ops 2. My most played map is Origins, but Origins is actually surprisingly not on the list. It's in the bottom half of my list. If you go to my Twitter and stuff, you'll see it. But like, it's in the bottom half of the list, and Mob is right under it. So I'm not a huge fan of Mob, but like it's Nuketown Zombies is just very small and very simple, and I love that. I love the simplicity of it. It's just like, and it also has like the M27. A great gun.
Yeah.
Why is it in
Yeah,
no
very
other map? Like, why?
I wish it was
And-
in more maps too.
The camo is okay.
Solid weapon.
Could be better.
Yeah, it's like solid.
Yeah, it's a very solid weapon.
It's
It's an
very
all-around good weapon.
It's actually one of the more favorites in Black Ops 2 multiplayer that I see. No, it's not. Never mind. The Black Ops 2 multiplayer just has some good weapons. The M27 is underpowered but overpowered. The accuracy is phenomenal, and the damage is pretty good. I like the Mystifier. That's a good name.
Also,
Overall-
I want to. Oh, I'll let you continue.
Okay, and my third favorite map, Town, as again, the simplicity of the map is. Oh yeah, also Nuketown Zombies has the LSAT, and I love the LSAT. Not a bonus weapon. It's on other maps, but that was the first map
Hold
that was
on,
on,
Barry.
and I love it for that reason. So Town, simple map. It's like Nuketown, but it's smaller, and that's why I don't like it as much. Nuketown seems a lot bigger to me. I don't know why. Maybe that's because it is, because there's more places you can go. Where on Town you just feel way more restricted. Like, I feel like on Town you should have been able to go down into that bank vault place and pack a punch instead of going into the middle of the fire. Like, imagine how cool that would have been. Instead,
That would've been
like,
pretty
have
cool.
this transit system kind of, except no buildables. And you could just go down there, and it would cost like 10,000 points to open that door, and then you could go down there. That would be cool.
And fair choices.
I wanted to mention something real quick. On the topic of the M27, fun fact: you can, if you have mods on a PC for Black Ops 3, you can use the use the M27 on certain maps that it was like supposed to be used for, and it's actually actually
Zombies.
usable as well. Yeah, you can use it on zombies. It's actually like in the files and whatnot. You can also see it in game on all platforms for multiplayer for Rejack. If you look at the guy carefully, you can see that when he like goes down on his knees, you can see him holding the M27.
Interesting.
Didn't know that. One line.
Did not know that either. All right, Waffles or Mark?
I already said
How
mine.
Lobster goes, because Waffle's been.
Okay, right. So I'll go from 3 to 1. So 3 for me is Verrucht.
Hey, my guy.
Right, Verrucht used to be 4, right? But I bumped it up to 3 purely because of the fact that lately I've been having so much more fun on Verrucht than what I have been doing on the Horizon Drag. And I just love the simplicity of Verrucht, and I love its close quarters, and to me, it's what I like to call an infectious map. I like coming back to it, and every time I do, I have fun. Especially with the remaster. The remaster is gorgeous. Second favourite is Mob of the Dead, and that's never changed. It used to be number 1, but it was bumped down to number 2 after a certain map came out. I'll say that in a moment. But Mob, I love the mechanics in Mob. I love the Easter egg. I love the characters, the story, everything about Mob of the Dead. It just fits so perfectly, and it has the perfect combination of gameplay and Easter egg play merged into one, and it's just a beautiful map. But the one that beats Mob of the Dead for me.
Before you say your number 1 pick,
Go on.
I'm hoping it was an AW map that knocked it out, because if not, I'm gonna be sad.
Unfortunately, it's not an AW map.
It disappointed me.
I guess topography chat.
I know.
I'm so frustrated.
Let's get an AW rip in the chat real quick.
My man's accidentally left.
No, I did that on purpose.
Lol.
Like, I'm done with this.
Disappointed at the lack of AW.
Um,
I have a JC profile picture, man.
Alright,
Come on,
alright.
you mess with this.
so,
Go on. Go on.
number one map.
Go.
It is Shadows of Evil.
Oh no.
It is Shadows of Evil
Oh.
because
Oh.
Shadows of Evil just for me has the best atmosphere in any zombie map. I love the theme of the 1940s. I love the jazz music included, and the sword is probably one of the best specialist weapons in Black Ops 3. I really enjoyed the characters as well, especially Jeff Goldblum. I think he done absolutely fantastic.
Jeff Goldblum's the best.
He done absolutely fantastic.
Also, Lester, remember one of the interviews with Justin Blundell? They were talking about Jeff Goldblum and like how like regular
the
would just
guy's
be like
bigger than the shield.
Yes, yeah, I remember
would just be
that.
constantly doing his lines.
His line, yeah.
Yeah, they just told all the sound people just to keep rolling everything. Hashtag release all the hidden cut footage of Jeff Goldblum
Oh my god,
going on.
yes, I would love to see that. That would be so fucking funny.
If I could make anything happen for this community, I would pray it to be that.
That would be good to hear.
Yeah,
Right?
but no, Shadows of Evil
Right.
is my favourite map. That's my other question. Okay, Mark, how about you, mate?
I'll make it short and sweet. Number 3. It's not very difficult. It's gonna have to be the Horizon Drac. Played that a lot. Probably the most on Black Ops 3. At the time, it was the big community in Black Ops 3. A lot of fun. Easter egg. Everyone can get involved. Everyone has something to do. We brought back the Panzer, made it easier. I enjoyed it. Maybe an extra weapon, maybe a bit more use of the box.
DLC weapons, please.
Yeah, would have been nice. But yeah, at number 3,
Very
you're right.
nice.
Number 2, it's gonna have to be the big classic. It's Buried. I mean,
Yes.
it's just fun. You play a game to have fun. Buried's fun. Wall chalk, innovation. Arthur. He's not called Leroy. I won't get onto that. It's a great map. It also killed off the transit characters, which, you know, we can all be a bit pleased about, but they weren't great.
It killed off what?
It killed off the transit characters.
Nah,
The
it's
Victor's
just
crew.
it's not.
They're dead in my eyes. And at number 1, it's
Dead in my eyes.
That was awful.
Actually,
Come on.
wait, did you guys know that like Missy got infected?
Why do you
Um,
like the characters then? Oh, what if she's actually a zombie in there? Okay.
Yeah, because like the song for
think
Buried was tied in more to like what happened to her. Apparently, she has like this big infection on the side of her, on her waist.
Yeah, she said that
You
like
can actually see it in game as well.
Anyway, we've gone horribly awry. Mark, number
Yeah.
one pick, my friend.
Origins.
You're
What a
so-
lad!
I'll answer any.
What a
answer
lad!
any.
Peace out, nerds.
I will.
Origins is okay.
It's a great map.
Me
It
and
does the
Dalton.
same
So
thing
much
that
to
the
do, I
Horizon Track
love it.
does. The Black
Maybe-
Ops 3 version isn't as good as the Black Ops 2 version. I think that's pretty easy to say.
The
Yeah,
Black
we were
Ops.
talking about that earlier before the.
I
before
still
the podcast
love
started.
both of them.
Okay. Yeah,
All right.
just a solid map. Great Easter egg. It was Jason's sort of birthing as well. I know he did Mob of the Dead and the Giant, but that was when it was like, oh, Jason's taking over now. You know, and here we are, Black Ops 4 on the horizon.
There you
That's
go.
There
true.
you go.
What a lad. Well,
What a mad lad!
I guess that just leaves the
Lol.
boys. Which
Okay.
this is gonna make me sound like such a hipster. Promise I'm not a zombies hipster, boys. My number 3 favorite map of all time made by any developer is Zetsubo no Shima.
I am leaving this
What a
podcast.
mad lad!
My friend's favorite map is that.
Zetsubo's a good map.
Let me explain.
Zetsubo is an
Just
average
put it
map.
at number 2. I don't want to hear why. I don't want to hear why.
My friend likes it probably for the same reasons.
I like Zetsubo because I felt that it was the best map for trying to actually go and encapsulate and go back to what zombies kind of felt like before we got the constant barrage.
I'm losing
of-
IQ. This is not what I want to hear.
Put it this way. Put it this way. Okay.
Mark,
Shadows of Evil. Okay. You're getting berated by Shadow Man quotes. Okay.
hey,
The Giant. It's been done like 800 times. Okay.
that's fine. That's cool. I want
I
the
would
fist
minus-
series.
I would-
Yeah,
minus
I
about
have
like
no issues. I have
700.
no issues with the Giant, really. So that's why I can only really say that. But then we go on to the Horizon Run. You're getting berated again by my boy Schuster and Gruff
Hey,
and
we
Richtofen.
Come on.
Doctor.
the machine is looking and awaiting the conduits.
The Mark Trophy. You're getting berated by Nikolai and Dr. Monty.
Hey,
I wouldn't
hey,
say
I-
paraded.
I-
They occasionally.
hey, Nikolai was just drunkenly.
I liked being talked to by Nikolai because it is always good.
So the map
And then
talks,
Revelations.
and you
and
don't
then
like
and
that.
then
But hang on.
Revelation.
The map
Hang
talks,
on,
to
real
you,
quick.
and you don't like that.
No, that just
Oh.
pulls me out of the immersion so hard.
I think it brings you in on a.
It doesn't for me, honestly.
I feel like I feel like it
breaking.
brings you in more too.
I don't mind like
Nikolai, Nikolai, what
playable
do I-
character quotes. Like I don't mind like the in between round conversation things, but like hearing Nikolai, hey, other Soviets. That's good for like the first 10, 20 times you hear it, but like you play a map enough and you're just
Always
like, I
turn the
don't
volume down.
quote ever again in my life.
You could always turn the volume down. Just saying.
I played Goro hundreds of times and I still find it entertaining.
But
Yeah,
that's my thing, right? Is that Zetsubo, you don't get berated by quotes by anybody except for your playable characters, and that's not that bad because at least then you see you don't particularly see your own voice, but you know right where the voice is coming from. It's happening, and they're real life conversations. They're not just these random loud blaring things that are just like happening,
Yep.
and like for in general. Anyway, that's my number 3. We can't do this. We can't keep getting off topic.
We had to keep going, guys.
Number 2,
It's you, mate, not
as
us.
we've established.
What?
What's up, Monster?
Just
Don't know
saying the
what you
whole
just
off-topic thing. That's you, not us.
Oh, yeah.
Number
you're
2.
right. Number 2, as we've established, the Darkest Shore. I've already explained why I love of the Darkest Shore. Let's not get into it again.
What?
And number 1, Lobster and Waffles should know this by now from their $2 challenge, and even Mark as well because he was there too. Number 1, Baruch.
Sure.
I love Baruch because it was the first ever DLC. It had a shitload of innovation. First map with perks.
That's true.
First map to
Power.
First map to have power. First map to have a moving mystery box. First map to have the electric traps. And then I know this was done previously on Noct. It had the one wall that was actually like you repaired a literal wall instead of boards. But Varuk did it better. Varuk, when I played it the first time, like I loved Noct for that. You play it after the campaign. Your first time, you're like, what the fuck's going on? But Varuk genuinely scared me as a child so much. I was like 10, and I'm listening to like the sounds of torture, and like because it took place in an asylum and it was so close quarters, and you could always hear screaming going on, and like blood stains and things just outside your view. You always wondered what was happening. Were there people and things happening in this that you just couldn't see? I mean, if you know Clipper out of the map, you know that there isn't. But it was like that same atmosphere and things that World War II would later do, like something they did in the Shadow Throne, right? When you see the civilians or the soldiers getting attacked by zombies, that's what you felt like what might have been happening just outside of your view, and that was so cool to me. So cool. I love that so much.
Donald Trump's wall of doom is better than Baruch. Confirmed.
Me
That's
and
custom
Alex
zombies
agree
that's ever
on
come
how we
out
feel
in
about
history.
Mob and on Origins, but apparently not on Varux.
Baruch can literally go that one. I don't care for that map at all. It's
I
Yeah.
love that.
Okay,
What
so
a mad lad.
right, okay, guys. So we'll very, very, very briefly touch up on the very last topic before one last thing I want to get into before we end the podcast right here. It's just talking about YouTubers, zombie YouTubers specifically, returning to zombies after their big Fortnite, flavaganza. They've gone to Fortnite, and now zombies is
I like to call it an affair.
quote unquote back. So they're coming back to zombies, and just let's just go like around the group here real quick. Just giving a very brief description of how you feel about this. Let's start with
It's an abusive relationship.
we'll start with Mark.
It's very abusive.
Mark.
Sorry, who are we gonna start with?
Mark.
Mark.
I'll jump into it. I'll take the horns. Just quickly, they're YouTubers, they're humans. You know, a lot of them have to pay the bills. Zombies is in a bit of a dead period. The Great Depression between Black Ops 2 Black Ops 3, where there was no content. You were lucky to find more than 8 YouTubers doing it. It's just another one of those periods. October 11th, we're going to get uploads again. Just wait till then, lads. I wouldn't worry too much. If you're really desperate for it, play the game. That's what I'm saying. Next.
enter stage middle. Okay. I gotta laugh out of someone. I guess that's good enough. So entering stage 45 degrees northeast. Okay. So we're gonna say that I'm kind of okay with it. Kind of not. If they're just doing it out of respect to the people who play the game or their fans and stuff, I don't think it should be good. Then I don't think they should do that. I'm not okay with it though, because there's some people who are just like, you should do this in Fortnite, but it's like they can't do that. They're given these criticisms stuff. Like some of them are pretty good, some of them are not though. It's just like, you should do these things in this game, and it's just like, I don't know how to feel about this. It's COD differently. I like that, but some of these things are just not like good criticisms for me. And that's pretty much how I feel about it. It's just like some of the criticisms and stuff I just don't care for.
Okay.
Agreeable.
Fair play.
But I'm fine with them returning. Really, I am. I'm completely okay with it.
Okay. Waffles, how about you?
Okay, so I want to say this. The Fortnite community, with all the people that are like new to gaming and whatnot because of Fortnite, and with like the whole Ninja Drake shit and all that stuff, I want to say those kind of people have really changed the way that people really discuss about microtransactions in like content. So it's Fortnite, of course, to get free content, and you have to use V-Bucks for that and all that stuff like that. So then people are complaining about the Black Ops Pass when it's literally just a season pass, but just slightly different. And it really disappoints me and upsets me that we're really complaining about something that we've had for years on end, and now people are complaining about it.
Yeah, no, that's understandable.
That's agreeable.
And about YouTube's returning, I'm really glad that they are. Like between this time though, I really have like I have widened my variety of like what YouTubers I watch. I've really found some really cool new people to watch. But I'm really glad to see that people are coming back, and that and also when my boy Lex at the community event, my boy said that Liam was actually excited. Oh boy, you know it's going to be a good year.
If Liam's happy, we're all happy.
Agreeable.
If Liam's happy, then it's going to be a good.
No
It's going to be a
more
good time,
timeline
boys.
tragedy, boys.
Okay, Lux.
Big Boogie Classic.
Boogie Boys return.
Boogie Boys will return.
Who's next?
Luxman, go
Go
ahead.
Lobster. Go Lobster.
Okay. Well, it's like, I mean, I actually touched up on this a When I was on Turbo's podcast, I touched up on this this whole thing about Fortnite YouTubers coming back to zombies, and it's like the way I see it is that if you're gonna play another game, like people know you for zombies, and then you're going to a different game to please other people, right? At least have the common courtesy to make content that's of a balance. So make some Fortnite videos and then make some zombie videos. Like it's you're going to Fortnite and you're deciding to come back to zombies when the good stuff is back. Okay, yeah, fair enough. That's what most of us are doing. But at the end of the day, during your Fortnite extravaganza, do some Fortnite and do some zombies. So then your whole audience isn't going to be sending you tweets about complaining. They're not going to be putting in your comments, oh, you've left zombies. Make the balance. And then every single one of your followers and your fans, your supporters, they're all happy. And that's pretty much the
Lobster, can I mention something real quick?
Go ahead.
Well, Noah J was actually doing that for a while. He was doing custom zombies and just zombies in general on his main channel. Then he was doing Fortnite on his second channel and other stuff along that as well. But then he slowly, gradually started doing Fortnite on his main channel, and people were starting to be like, I don't know about this one here, Chief. So then things really fucking kicked off when he started to do Noah J.
Oh, Noah J, thank you.
Okay, yeah, no, I see that.
Yeah, it's just been really ridiculous with like him and what's been going on.
Yeah, it's like, but this is in no way aimed at just Noah. This is all of the Fortnite YouTubers who used to do zombies. It's like, bring in a bit of a balance. That's all I'm really asking, and that's pretty much all I have to say on the topic.
I just like Ninja because he just insults Black Ops 4, but doesn't even know what he's talking about.
Yeah, can't stand
right?
people like that.
He's like, oh yeah, I got paid $60 for this Battle Royale game. I'm not gonna buy it. She's like, you have more content than that. Fuck off.
It's like
fucker.
the fuck.
Like literally, like this guy literally just go, dunk his head in Fortnite. Just go ahead, man. Like, come on, go. All right, Ninja, go ahead. Dunk your head in Fortnite. People won't be playing it for very long because
I wonder how much.
And so many other games are coming out. You know, it just pisses me off. You know, like
I wonder
how I see it is that like. All I want to say to him is just like fuck off. The only reason why you're famous in general is because of Fortnite. If you weren't before,
I will say he was a Halo pro, so Halo 4 was one of his big games. That was
even
a $60 game.
he was like, even then he was like
a pro player.
He was like, hardly known in like any community really.
All right, so I want to touch on pretty much all of it. So here's what I have to say about Ninja and his perspective on Black Ops 4. And it's the same perspective that I always share whenever people decide to have the debate with me about how amazing Fortnite is because it's a quote-unquote free-to-play game. Here's my issue with that conversational debate is that I guarantee you that if really given the choice and if people were just told like realistically and they were thinking with their logical minds, I would much rather pay $60 for a base game that actually allows me to customize my character, that allows me to play more than one game mode on more than one map, and actually be able to have some diversity in my gameplay that consists of more than just, oh, I've landed in a different area, still got wrecked 20 seconds in, or lasted 15 minutes, or however long. So that's my main perspective on how Fortnite is. And the reason that Fortnite is as successful as it is definitely 100% because of the fact that Epic can release their patches so frequently. But the problem with that is that Fortnite will never, ever, ever leave beta. Ever. And if it does, then you can guarantee and you can bet, you can take it to the bank that all of those patches are going to become less frequent with time because that's how game cycles and development works. And the thing that upsets me about Fortnite is not how many people play. It's not Ninja. It's not Drake. It's not that. It's the fact that Epic Games has realistically, they helped make the Unreal Engine, which is a really great engine for like Mortal Kombat games, which is awesome. Sure, whatever.
It's used for everything nowadays as well. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
true.
pretty much.
And then they tried to basically rip off every MOBA, every raid, and then trying to add in a little bit of third-person shooter. And then when they broke that game because they couldn't actually make it anywhere real MOBA, and they made too much of a third-person shooter with objectives that were optional, they completely abandoned it before it even fully released, after people had to buy like to get early access to it, and they abandoned it for Fortnite. So that upsets me, especially considering I had a friend that was very, very into MOBA that they completely abandoned.
Okay.
Also,
Now,
they abandoned another game that's called Gears of War, and it's my favorite franchise of all time.
Exactly.
And they sold it to Microsoft for a couple, I believe,
$2
up to $2 billion. And then it was bought out by the Black Tusk Studios, which is now called the Coalition.
Yeah.
And now they're really great developers. I really like the Coalition. I love what they're doing with Gears of War nowadays, but I just hate how fucking poor they were doing Gears of War back in the day. Like, granted, yeah, they started the series. They really cared towards the beginning, like with Gears 1, Gears 2, and then when Gears 3 came out, they just didn't give a shit.
Yeah,
It really seemed like
stopped
they
caring
didn't.
after a certain time. As soon as one franchise or one gaming thing starts to become less popular than its base idea, the base idea that the entire fan base pretty much fell in love with, they're just like, okay, we're out. Next game. And that's not how game development should work. But getting
Really
on to
shouldn't
the
be.
actual topic, my perspective on YouTubers returning that used to do zombies or are in general just YouTubers going towards Black Ops 4 is this. I dislike the fact that they are considered like a lot of the guys that are big, you know, the Lexes, the Noahs, those kinds of guys, they ridiculed Tom when he left. They've ridiculed Tom plenty of times, making lots of jokes, being like, "Oh, he's a zombies YouTuber." Like, you can watch Q Z's roast of zombies YouTubers, and the section he wrote on Tom is so accurate. He's like, "Yeah, I upload one video every DLC, and everyone still somehow considers me a zombies YouTuber." People ridicule Tom for leaving zombies, quote unquote, leaving zombies. But
Yeah.
what really happened with Tom is that Tom decided that he didn't want to stick to just zombies. He wanted to become basically a gaming YouTuber. And then from there, he decided, I want to become a vlogger. And now, these same people that ridiculed Tom for this went and decided, I don't want to be stuck to just zombies because I don't particularly like Infinite Warfare zombies, and I don't particularly like World War II. Or they don't get me enough views. And so they went on to Overwatch, they went on to Fortnite, they went on to PUBG. I have nothing against that at all. But the thing I have something against is, don't say that you are a zombies YouTuber when you are only playing zombies when it is convenient for you, and you're only around when the views are as high as they can be when it comes to this series and this franchise. Don't claim to be something that you're not. Like, a lot of you guys are from Reed's chat and channel, and that's where I met majority of you guys. And
Yep.
you'll notice that I've gone through 2 different name changes of my entire YouTube and all that. And that was because I went from a name that I really liked but didn't think suited a YouTube channel, and I went to Killgrave Zombies. But then when I started thinking about it, and when this started happening and people kept going out, like, I looked at myself and I was like, I can't have that perspective and be the same way, because I play other games too. So I totally was like, you know what? I don't think I should have zombies in my YouTube channel name if I do other things. So I just think if you're gonna be a YouTuber and you're gonna play all sorts of types of games, don't claim to be a zombies YouTuber. be honest.
Okay.
You're a gaming YouTuber and you play zombies. Like, that's what I said on Reed's most recent stream too. I was just like, the way I see it, you're a gaming YouTuber that specializes in zombies.
Okay. There's some good points there. And
Like that.
yeah,
Well
I like
said.
that a lot. Okay. Now before we wrap up the podcast real quick, Asteroid wants to do a quick review on the topics we've discussed during this over 2 hour long podcast. My God,
Jesus.
that is insane.
Our longest one yet, right?
It is our longest one yet. So Asteroid, fire away, mate.
Okay, one sec. One moment.
Two and a half hours we're up to. Round 3. Are we doing the Easter egg? Are we holding a crawler?
What is that music?
We're going to do the new Easter egg next. Let's get
Christ.
right into the.
Time for the reviews with your host, Asteroid. Whoa. Okay. Anyways, wow. Everyone's going for me.
Wooing for you.
A get off the stage would be necessary here too.
Get off the stage!
Get off the stage! Fuck you. Anyways, you guys don't appreciate art. Anyways, okay. So enough joking around. Let's get into this. So I missed about 99% of this podcast. I was not speaking at all. I was just listening the whole time. So I kind of feel bad about that. So I decided that I'm going to review everything. And I'm going to say all my opinions about it. So we're going to start off with the Black Ops 4 multiplayer beta because I did not say anything about that. The Black Ops 4 multiplayer beta, I haven't played it. I can't judge that. Moving on to the next topic. Oh yeah, I hate the hate that it's getting because it's just like people are just bullshitting about random things. Anyways, next one is ZWC. And ZWC, I did not watch the original because I didn't want to.
We're not doing great here, mate, are we?
Not.
Like, I'm just not involved.
ZWC 2 is good though. I really liked it. I like the giveaways and all that. I didn't think that JC would dye his hair blonde, and I didn't think that Lex would dye his hair pink.
He is
Milo was
now
good
known
host.
as the Ninja 2.
And ZWC 2 though was
Christ.
good. DWI was just okay. I don't know how to feel about that. Turbo, my man though, he's bringing the energy every time. So moving on to classified predictions. Well, there's actually a theory that was going around a while ago. It's not bad, not a bad theory at all. I find it to be very nice. It's a good theory. It's the thing that were like classified and Blood of the Dead are connected, and that one event results in the other being triggered. You know, I see your messages. Don't think you can hide them from me. Hey, or AW, yeah, because Reed hates it. I know that Reed doesn't like it, but I love it.
Lobsters that read in this one.
Hey, Asteroid.
Exo zombies. All right, this is
Next.
Let's
Move on.
all right. So I wanted them to include exo zombies in ZWC. I wanted them to include other non-Treyarch stuff, but they didn't, and it was only for the questions. That's what I forgot to mention too. Like Matt, if you're watching this, I don't think you are, but if you are, you should have included exo zombies or like something like that. World War II, IW, because there are people that like did the challenges of them. They probably expected it to be in there, in the map playing. But we only get Treyarch. Like, are you kidding me? Are you fucking joking? Like, all right, you gotta work on that. Like Black Ops 1, 2, you gotta get all the games in there at least. Include more than just Black Ops 3 because it was getting boring. So classified predictions. There's a theory that was going on a while ago that said that classified and Blood are connected in one event. Like it restarts all the others and starts like the rest, and that like the cycle is broken maybe, and that small changes maybe. So I'm thinking though that classified is a prequel and it's related to a fractured version on the Fractures timeline.
That's interesting. I like that.
That's interesting.
So you know how in the fractured version of like the timeline is that where it's like oh it's a okay where
Things just took a turn.
So anyways, I'm thinking that Classified is where in the different timeline Richtofen actually brings Ultimus with him, and I think before he didn't, but he went to 5. I'm pretty sure if he did go to 5 at least, then he brought Ultimus with him this time. And so basically during this they cause a zombie outbreak and they cause a small change of events that leads to the 5 crew getting killed off.
I like that.
Yeah, I love that.
And that's in the original in the original version of 5, that means that, you know, there's that 5 is actually like at the end they all survive, like all the characters and stuff. But in this new timeline they don't survive. So what if this is actually like a fractured version and Classified directly causes all of it?
It's very plausible.
Good. Yeah, good theory.
What if the fractures are actually its own universe, and this is the cycle Blood of the Dead and Classified are both in this fractured universe, and this is the new cycle we're going on?
We had it wrong the whole time, boys. 5 was the
I'm serious. This could actually be true, though. I would love this. This would explain like the Ascension
This is
radios.
really good.
The Ascension phones are like Call of the Dead now instead of the 5 ones from the old.
That would be
remake.
really fucking.
That would definitely shake things up, just like Jason was saying in that interview. Like,
It's
can
gonna
you
cause
imagine?
ripple throughout the timeline.
Can you imagine? Just like everyone's like, no, it's Mob of the Dead or Blood of the Dead, and all of a sudden, and Jason just comes in. Nope.
Nah, fam.
Retconned. All right. Okay.
Pretty much.
So I think the last topic now. Oh yeah, did we do Blood of the Dead?
We touched on it, but it wasn't a topic.
Blood of the Dead. Okay, we're gonna do that as a topic then, because technically it was.
It's a mini topic.
Anyways,
Woo! Surprise!
so Blood of the Dead. I'm kind of excited. I'm more excited for I think 9, and I think 9's gonna be really good. I think I'm
equally
least
excited for every map.
I'm. You guys just don't appreciate this. I'm taking my time.
That fucking laugh. Jesus.
There
No,
you go.
it's fine.
Anyways, yeah, I think it's gonna be good. I want a Richtofen's head. I'm hoping the Richtofen's head thing is actually like been Jason's plan the whole time.
No, they're not doing that. You gotta watch. There was an interview where they said him
Yeah.
and Ray. They said, "Look, it's not gonna
Yeah,
happen."
that was a yeah. They said that was
What if
that's
it's actually the skull of nonstop voice?
They've done the skull. Yeah,
But
they've
no,
done the
I
skull.
know Richtofen's head is actually like no. I think they. What if they kill Primus, like the Ultimus Richtofen, like you know in the
Yeah, like I
Ultimus
was saying.
like
I
loading.
still just wanted it to be a jump scare. That'd be so
What if
funny.
after they kill Ultimus Richtofen, they put his head in a jar down there. Like they
Yeah,
put
I
his
just
head in a-
just wanted to say, I just wanted to be something that's like not canon, just like something, just poking at a little fun. I like how it was supposed to be originally in the
I
map.
don't want it to be canon though. Everything in zombies is canon, obviously, but except for 5.
Yes, of
because
course.
in-
Everything is canon.
Well, in 5, like all those games are canon, but we don't have an actual Easter egg. So what isn't canon? What is canon in that map actually? Because
Technically,
none of those
nothing is
endings are
canon,
actually
but everything
real.
is
Then.
canon at the same time.
None of those endings are real then.
We're digging way too far into this.
Yeah. Anyways, okay. World War II journey. It was a good journey. The Darkest Shore.
Didn't you do this?
Oh yeah,
hear
yeah.
this?
I touched on it for like a minute and then I had to go.
Go on then, man.
Or like my internet just shit.
Go
No
on.
worries.
So World War II journey, good. Darkest Shore, bad. Tortured Path, good concept.
X lads.
Cameron Dayton, good. Michael Condrey, Devil. IW, maybe it's good. I don't know.
It's not.
And YouTuber, okay, we already touched on it. YouTubers returning, good. Favorite maps, And final topic is the ending of the podcast. So how do you guys feel about the ending of the podcast?
And I'll see you in the next
I
one,
don't
boys.
think I don't think it's gonna ever finish. It never ends.
Well,
We're going for a 4-hour episode.
No, we're
I just want
not.
you all to
No,
know
we're
that.
not.
Like, this is
Ignore,
my
ignore,
entire
ignore this
my
man.
experience.
Ignore this man.
This is the section where we all just play shout over each other.
Right now,
so-
I am buying plane tickets to you
Okay.
right now just so we can have a
This will
fucking
take so
5-hour
long.
episode.
So we're actually going to wrap up the podcast here, guys. But I want to thank everyone for watching this. Be sure to leave a like rating and subscribe for more zombies content. I want to thank you very much to my co-host, Mr. Moist Waffles, and our guests, Asteroid Delta, Portugal the Mark, and Lux Archangel, for all coming out to this podcast. It's been an absolute blast. I cannot believe it's been this long. Rip me. But
If you've made it this far, well done.
it's been an absolute fantastic episode of the.
Because they're a fucking cook if you watch the entire thing.
It's been.
Tweet at us, and we'll give you like a virtual cookie or something.
It's been an absolute.
Can you film yourself cooking a steak while having this video upload and render the whole time? And then upload it to your channel? Thank
We'll
you,
see.
please.
But, it's been by far the best episode of the ZombSquad podcast we've had, and I want to thank you guys very much for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Bye bye.
All right. Bye.
Goodbye.